Hey guys, happy Monday. Welcome to the Wise Guys. Welcome to May, the largest BYU sports live stream show in the world, the most watched collegiate sports live stream talk show on YouTube, and we are thrilled to launch into a brand new month.
Yeah, it's I can't believe it's May already, and we keep thinking, hey, we're going to get to different off seasons, and then there's not going to be news, and there's not going to be much to talk about. But is there ever not much to talk about anymore?
No, it's crazy.
Because it feels like with NIL and recruiting, and there's just something all the time. Even in the dead of summer, we've got stuff to talk about. We've got a fun show.
How about on the stream out of the gate, Dominican Republic and Cardston, Alberta.
Right, international.
Right. And Beaumont, Texas.
That's also international.
And Nebraska. That's everybody.
Yeah,
nice job.
That covers the whole world right there.
Sweet.
So, Beaumont, Texas. That wasn't in your mission, was it? Was Beaumont?
No. San Antonio for me.
Oh, that's right. So Beaumont wasn't part
Beaumont,
of that.
I think that's up near Dallas.
But I love it. I do love right out of the chutes.
Yeah.
Dominican Republic. Have we had the Dominican Republic?
Doesn't feel like it.
Lisa Fisher, have you been in before? Because we're glad to have you. Or maybe you're just from the Dominican Republic on vacation, but you actually live in Orem. But we don't care. You're here from the DR.
Yeah. Greetings from the Dominican Republic. So we're going to assume that's where she's at.
The flag is up too. The Dominican Republic flag.
It's a nice touch.
So that's telling me that maybe there's more ties to there. So, Weston Birch just celebrated 30 years of marriage on the 1st of May.
Happy anniversary.
That's great stuff.
Nice.
Way to go. Is it IRF Sports says, great to have an off night from across the pond. Saratoga Springs.
That is across the pond.
It's across the Utah Lake, of course. He's not talking about the Atlantic Ocean, but we're glad to have all of you here with us today, and we love the support. We love that we get to chat with you while you're here with us on the live stream, and you get to chat with one another, and it makes it a lot of fun to do the show. We've got a great show in store for you. We want to remind you that Wise Guys is presented by Brady Plus and Mountain America Credit Union. Wise Guys is distributed by the Deseret News. And watch for this week's new podcast tomorrow, wherever you get your podcasts.
Yeah, and then you can just listen to it all week long. That's the beauty of technology, the way it flows today. And then our stuff will pop up in all your algorithms on YouTube. So, hey, we like to think we have it covered. There's Jim checking in from North Carolina. The Nelsons are here from St. George, Utah, Roseville, California, sending some rain our way. Yes, we do have some.
Yeah, we like it. It's cloudy. Didn't rain on me yet today, but I would think we're going to get some tonight.
Thanks, Roseville. There's Debbie from Vernal, Utah. Good to have you with us as well. We encourage you all to subscribe to our free email at wiseguys.com. Many of you already do. You can also watch all of our past content right there, and would love it if you were to hit the free subscribe button on our YouTube channel. I was coming out of the BYU baseball game the other night, and a couple of Wise Guys fans came up and they were talking about the show, and a guy had a question about the podcast. He goes, hey, I can only just get the last episode. Where can I get all of them? And I said, wiseguys.com.
That's right.
That's the home base for everything.
There's two, like on the page, there's a part where you can just download the podcast. There's a part where you can go down and you can actually watch the whole live stream show at any time that lives there at wiseguys.com, also on YouTube. So, you can go find it if you want to watch it and sit down and watch it. You can watch it. You can just download the podcast, get on your bike and go ride for 20 miles, whatever you want to do. It's out there for you, and it's at wiseguys.com. Hey, Nelsons are fired up in St. George to be on the show tonight.
Sweet. Davis County checking in. We encourage you to, one, get your friends to join our show. It's for free, so we love that. And then encourage everybody to get on the stream and let us know where you're taking us in from, and we'll try to give you a shout out. We got an awesome show tonight, great guests, and a lot to talk about on this 4th day of May, Star Wars Day. Mm-hmm. You know, that's
May the 4th be with you.
May the 4th be with all of us. We'll start with BYU football. Some high praise for cornerback Evan Johnson. You know, we hear plenty of LJ and Bear, and what are we going to do at receiver, and these new tight ends, and how about those linebackers? But here comes some high praise for Evan Johnson we'll talk about.
Yeah, and one of the best players on this football team, so glad to have him back this year. Men's basketball, roster building, time still, NCAA Tournament expansion. We're going to talk a little bit about all of that.
Sylvia's in from Wisconsin on the stream. Jeff is in from Puget Sound. Welcome to the Wise Guys. We'll talk about that roster for the basketball team that's coming together. They're still looking for a big man.
Yeah. But already that recruiting class is rated higher than last year's.
Yeah. And do you like the big dance expanding?
Yeah, I do.
I do too. I'll watch.
Everybody will watch. That's the thing. That's why it's expanding, because people will watch. If you build it, they will come.
We'll get Lee Cummard's take on that.
Yeah.
Women's basketball coach. He's going to join us here on our set in our lair in just a bit. Talk about what he's going to do to build on that 26-win season.
Yeah, amazing. I think surprising 26-win season, and now he's got a lot of pieces back. So we're going to talk all about that. Hey, women's tennis star Gracie Levelston is coming on the show. She's going to be here in studio on the heels of BYU's most successful season in 19 years. NCAA Tournament appearance. Gracie plays #1 singles, and she's got a great story too.
Remember, she was going to be on the show last week, and she got sick.
Yeah, great story.
But she's feeling better now.
I'm excited. I haven't met. I've gone to watch Gracie play. I've gone and watched her play live. She's really vocal.
Yeah, that's right.
Like I hear her yelling, and when she makes a point, Gracie makes a point. It's fun to watch her. Very intense competitor, great player. But she's got a tremendous story that we're going to hear about.
We put our social media promos out there on Monday, and she commented on there that she was looking forward to coming and hanging out with us.
Good deal.
Tonight. That'll be cool. Also later on, BYU alums making a difference in the world. Alan Ashton, founder of Thanksgiving Point and co-founder of Word Perfect, and McKay Christensen, the president and CEO of Thanksgiving Point. They're going to be here. One thing we've been able to do this last spring, really this spring, more so than any other time in our 4-year history, is spend time on BYU entrepreneurs and how they're changing the world and making it better.
They're making our communities and the world a better place. And I had so many comments on our last week's guest, Mike Peterson. They're like, vertical farming, who would have thought about it? And like reducing water need to feed cattle, to grow the crops to feed cattle in the Middle East and in the deserts, and that's changing the world. I'm like, yeah, it was really cool. And people were going, yeah, you guys just used to be a sports show. Now you're even cooler.
Now we've expanded our horizons, but all of it ties to BYU in one way or the other.
That's right.
And BYU folks are changing the world. And you know what? There are other folks at other places who are changing the world too. And when they have their own show, they can have them
talk
on.
about it. We're only talking about the BYU folks.
This is Wise Guys.
Right. Or people we adopt in. Like I was thinking we should get Kellen Moore on the show.
Yeah, because there's a connection. Yeah, right, there has to be a connection.
Well, and here's how, see, this is the kind of connection we do. I'm going to reach out and see if I can get Kellen to come on, because he's the head coach of the Saints, and he's not a BYU guy, but he is a BYU guy because he married a BYU grad. And his father-in-law played football at BYU.
And he joined the church.
And so Kellen basically is now a BYU guy.
Yeah.
So he's game.
It's that easy to become. Anyone can become a BYU person.
We welcome converts. So I'm going to see if we get Kellen on the show sometime.
We remind you, Wise Guys is presented by Brady Plus. Brady Plus provides cleaning, food service, and packaging equipment, dispensers, and service and repairs. They've got over 150 distribution facilities across the country, over 6,000 employees, and expanding to double that. Learn more at bradyplus.com. But as you go to a hotel just about anywhere, just look around and you'll find Brady Plus products. Travis Brady was on the show a few weeks ago. BYU guy, president of Brady Plus. They are commanding that market space, and so when you see Brady Plus, think BYU and the Wise Guys.
Yeah, or if you're ever in the Pentagon.
Yeah,
because they take care of the Pentagon.
If you're in the Pentagon.
That's wild.
That's almost like we're in the Pentagon.
Isn't the Pentagon the largest office building in the world?
I think so.
I think it is.
I think they got a lot going on.
And who takes care of him? Brady Plus.
Brady Plus.
So there you go. Mountain America Credit Union, helping people achieve their financial dreams for over 80 years. Whether you're buying a home, planning for retirement, or managing daily expenses, Mountain America has the tools, technology, and guidance to help you succeed. There's a lot of information waiting for you at macu.com, macu.com. And you know what? Mountain America Credit Union is very closely tied to BYU.
Yeah.
We've got really, really dear friends that help support this show, but also do a lot to support BYU, and they're all tied to BYU.
When you walk into the football stadium and you look up, and on the south end zone, there's Mountain America Credit Union on one side, and then you look over the other side, and it's Brady Plus.
Better believe it.
And then you look right down there in the canopy, and that's where we are on BYU TV.
That's right. So
doing our thing.
We're surrounded by these guys at all times. So our Re-Lyte Athlete of the Week is presented by Redmond. The secret is in the salt. Learn what it can do for you at redmond.com. Hey, we have another different sport this week represented in.
Yes.
Now that basketball's over and AJ doesn't win it every week, or Jane.
And Jane doesn't run every week, although she did run this week.
You want to know what? She could have,
it was a tight race.
Yeah.
Literally a tight race for the Re-Lyte with Jane.
We're getting to the point where Jane breaks a record and does something crazy every week. So
I know.
So she kind of could win it every week.
So to beat Jane, you've got to do something really cool.
You've got to do something remarkable,
and then we got that.
Something that hasn't happened for a long time.
Yeah.
So we've got that this week for you. So you guys can guess who that is. You know what? Throw out on the chat who you think the Re-Lyte Athlete of the Week is. I'd be interested to know who you think it is, because it's not Jane this week.
Yeah. And if you know what, if you've been watching close, you might have a pretty good idea.
Yeah, I think you might.
But we'll have that in just a few minutes. Let's dive into BYU football. It's always football season around here. USA Today released their post-spring top 25. A whole bunch of outlets did over the last couple of days. They have BYU number 14. I thought that was interesting because it's one spot ahead of Texas Tech. In the wake of the Brendan Sorsby situation. They also list Notre Dame at number 2. And they'll be here, in October. And then Utah's at 19 and Houston's at number 23. That one actually, that seems pretty good.
Think about it. What's happening to Texas Tech reminds me of BYU last year when Jake Retzlaff was going to be gone. Mm-hmm. And BYU was in everybody's top 10 to 12. And as soon as they heard that Retzlaff was going to be gone, and
a freshman might be coming.
They immediately dropped. And so Texas Tech's been in everybody. They've been higher than BYU. They've been in everybody's top 8.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, their very talented transfer quarterback, Brendan Sorsby from Cincinnati, gets involved in some gambling issues. And with that uncertainty, boom, Texas Tech drops. They're out of most people's top 10 now.
Yeah, and remember, the BYU one was significant because they fell all the way out. They started at 26. And had to climb all the way in to get into contention for the top 12. And some guys don't have Texas Tech falling that far, but it's still early.
Well, and my thing is, I think their season depends a lot on whether Hammond, the LDS return missionary, can get completely healthy from his ACL tear.
And that the tear holds up.
Right, and gets back and stays healthy, because he's very good. Like when he played in that game against Utah, I was thinking, man, he might be as good as their starter. Mm-hmm. And then he got hurt. And so let's see how healthy he is, because that could be the difference between if he has a surprisingly great season like Bear did, then Texas Tech's a top 10 team.
Right.
If he doesn't, then because the most important position on the field, Dave,
of course,
is quarterback. Let's just remember.
It always
that.
has been.
So
even those big time USC tailbacks, someone had to give them the ball.
That's right. And it's great teams, championship teams typically have a very good quarterback.
CBS Sports' Brandon Marcello put out his post-spring top 25 this week. He's got BYU at 17. Marcello has dropped Texas Tech out of his top 10 to number 11.
Right, there you go. And we're seeing that consistently, right? So Joel Klatt of Fox College Football, he also has BYU at number 17 in his post-spring poll that he released today. He has Notre Dame at 2. We keep telling Notre Dame because we played Notre Dame.
Yeah, they matter to us now.
Right, so they matter. Texas Tech's at 13. I think he had them in the top 10 before.
Yeah.
So
a report was released by Cody Nagel of CBS Sports over the weekend that caught our attention. It listed the returning snaps percentage for all 138 college football teams. How much production on both sides of the ball from last year are coming back to this year? And, well, let's start with number 1 because it's Notre Dame at 66%, and they come to Provo on October 17th.
That's why they're number 2, because they were really, really good last year, and they have almost everybody back, relatively speaking, right? Maryland is at number 2, but they're not ranked real highly because they weren't that good last year. So
nobody knows the thing about Maryland.
So here's the thing. You could bring back 65% of guys that weren't any good, and it doesn't really matter. Right?
But they're back.
But BYU, who was very good last year, always top ranked team all season long, finished ranked. They have the third most in the country with 63%.
Of 138 teams, BYU is number 3.
Right.
That's pretty good.
And what's Texas Tech?
Texas Tech is 21, 52%. Yeah. They lost a lot to the NFL. Now they went and got a bunch, but the guys they got weren't on last year's team. So they're at 52% of their returning firepower.
And people, they keep saying, how much did Kyle going to Utah or going to Michigan affect Utah? And I can tell you this, Utah's number 74 in the country with just 39% of the snaps on both sides of the ball returning. BYU's at Utah November 7th. And they had some big-time guys. Remember, both of their offensive tackles were first-round draft picks.
Yeah.
And they do have a really good quarterback coming back, and they have a couple of really good running backs coming back.
And they had a few guys went to Michigan, but the staff went to Michigan.
Yeah.
That's
so you got the staff, and you got a bunch of offensive linemen gone, and it's going to be a challenge for Utah with just 39% returning and having a new staff there.
That's why I like BYU's chances going up there to Salt Lake and beating the Utes again.
Yeah, I think you're right.
63% returning firepower to 39%.
I like it.
PSFN College released its top 10 returning cornerbacks, and they've got BYU's Evan Johnson, number 4 on their list. He was 7th on the team in total tackles. He led the team with 8 pass breakups. He also had a sack, led the Cougars with 5 interceptions, including the one that sealed the win in the Pop-Tarts Bowl. And if you recall, against East Carolina, Johnson had an interception in the end zone to turn the Pirates away. And then on the very next pass attempt by ECU, which was on the other end of the field, he picked it off, went for a touchdown. Back-to-back touchdowns on back-to-back passes. I don't think we've ever seen that before.
No, that's just crazy.
So how about Evan Johnson getting some props?
Yeah, and I think it's rightly so. It's about time BYU has a corner that gets kind of preseason props. You think about how well, like Maury Bamba played really well last year, and he goes out and he runs a 4.2940 in the pro day, and I think he's going to make a team at 6'1" and 200 pounds with that kind of speed. Evan, not only does he have tremendous speed, but there's a difference between speed and like quickness, ability to open your hips and change directions and stop and drive on the football. He's elite level at doing that. He also runs a sub 10 500 meters, so he can turn around and run with any receiver in the country, and he's got great ball skills. As evidence in that game at East Carolina, with the ball's in the air, he can track it and he can go get it. He's a complete corner. He's an NFL type guy. I love the fact that they're saying, hey, he's one of the top 4 in the country.
What I love, in addition to all that, he's a good student, and it matters to him, and he's a great interview.
Yeah,
I mean, he can express himself and in ways that draw you in to him, to his story. And he's got a smile on his face most of the time. I saw him at the baseball game. He waved at us walking by the booth on his way to his seats, and I'm just like, you know what, that guy's a stud right there.
He's a different. We need to get Evan to come on the show because his story's kind of fun. He's not your typical. I started playing football when I was 6. He played other sports. He was a big time golfer, and like he's just a different kind of cat, and he's very refined and he's very respectful. He's a very bright young man. That will bode well for him as he tries to play at the next level.
Absolutely. ESPN's under the radar player for BYU is tight end Walker Lyons. They went through all the teams and said, who's the guy that's going to surprise everybody? Lyons caught 20 passes for 223 yards and a couple of touchdowns last year at USC. And he's filling the void left by the departure of the new Cleveland Browns tight end in Carson Ryan and Roger Saliapaga in with him from Oregon. But they list Lyons as the under-the-radar guy.
Yeah, I think he's going to surprise some people. He can be very productive, and I think BYU is going to play a lot more 2 tight ends with Saliapaga as well. They brought in 2 high-quality tight ends, which is going to give Bear more weapons out on the field. And Carson Ryan kind of brought the tight end back to the BYU's offense last year. Now you got 2 of them that can really help Bear. I'm telling you, when you're back there and things are breaking down, you know how nice it is to have a great big body kind of running in the middle of the field that you can find and just get the ball out there. And
that's awesome.
Like, even if they have a guy right on their side, they're big enough and physical enough that they'll just take it away from him and you can just throw it to him. It's like a safe throw. Quarterbacks love that. We've had Max on the show a bunch of times.
Yeah.
Max loved that Dennis Pitta was out there. And anytime things seemed all jumbled up, I just throw it to Dennis.
He'll catch it. He's 6'5".
Yeah, he'll just go get it. How many third downs did they convert where Max just dropped back and said, I'll just get it to Dennis?
Well, Austin Colley would probably tell us that number.
Austin's going to say, no, he threw it to me. But when Austin got it when he was open, but when things were all bungled up in there and you couldn't see, then it was Dennis. So
Mackey's on the stream from Montana. Mark is on the stream from Liberty, Missouri. Good to have you with us. We're all over the world again tonight, and we love it. BYU picked up a commitment over the weekend from cornerback Ryan Wooten Jr. I had to look him up. He went on his social media account to announce he was picking BYU over, listen to this, over Washington, Georgia Tech, Penn State, Florida, Florida State, UCLA, Texas A&M, and then there were like 20 others that had offered him, and he picked BYU.
Well, and think about the fact that he's from Jersey City, New Jersey, so he's from that metro New York City area. for UCLA and Texas A&M and these schools all the way in the South, all the way on the West Coast to be coming after this guy tells you how good he is. And so, he's perfect for BYU. They like to play a lot of man and do that at 6'1", and great physical skills. He's going to fall right in line with those really good corners BYU's had in the last couple of years. So.
Before Lee Cummard joins us here in just a couple of minutes, let's run over some BYU basketball news. AJ Dybantsa, the draft lottery is going to be announced Sunday, and he's picked to go number 1, and so we'll pretty much have an idea on Sunday where he's going to go. He extended his sponsorship agreement with Nike, so he's going to be a Nike guy throughout. And then he and Richie Saunders were invited to the NBA Draft Combine. Great sign for Richie. As he told us, he's heard everything good about getting drafted despite his knee injury. He won't work out for the teams, but they respected him enough to invite him back, and he'll go to all the meetings, and somebody's going to pick him.
Well, here's the thing. If he can get healthy, which I 100% believe he can, and he wasn't non-weight bearing on it. It tells you the injury to his meniscus wasn't that bad. But he comes back full strength. The guys know what he brings to a team, and it's more than just the physical. He's physically very gifted. He can jump out of the gym, and he just plays so hard. And when we have Lee on, Lee will attest to that. Like it's hard to find people with that much heart that are talented but also play that hard. And I think NBA teams love that. And he's smart. He's not going to cause you any problems on your team. He's going to be great in your locker room. What would you not like about that guy to take in the second round sometime?
Great. I'd take him.
Yeah.
I'd take him. Rivals released their final 2026 top 150 high school recruits rankings, and they've got BYU's Bruce Branch III at number 4, and he and his 7'3" wingspan is one of 14 players who received 5-star ratings, so that's done and official. By the way, AJ was ranked number 1 by Rivals last year. So how do you follow up? You get number 4.
Yeah, and they're not exactly the same type of player, but Bruce Branch is going to fit in really nice here. Somebody was telling me at the gym the other day that his mom was lifting weights in a BYU shirt at Vasa.
All right.
So I guess they're in town.
They're in town.
So,
I know he's here in school.
That's awesome.
He was on Sports Nation this morning talking about it. He hiked the Y on Saturday and posted some pictures, and he's all in, ready to go.
Yeah, and ESPN ranks BYU's 2025 recruiting class number 10, right, in the nation. Last year's class with AJ was ranked number 13.
So number 10 is
So that's what we were talking
good.
about at the beginning of the show. It's like, okay, here we go. You don't have the number 1 recruit, but you got the number 4. And overall, they love this recruiting class. And BYU's still trying to find a big man. So that search continues for BYU. Another big man, I should say. Over the weekend, 7-foot Obina, how do you say it?
I think Akizi.
Akizi?
Junior, yeah.
It's because the E-K-E-Z-I-E. So Obina Akizi, junior, he committed to Louisville, and he was high on BYU's list. So,
Took a visit here.
Yeah.
And so now they've got a few, they're going after, there's a couple of European kids that are tall.
There's multiple kids over in Europe that BYU's looking at.
But everyone's on borderline freak out.
Yeah.
Like, why we haven't signed a big man yet? It's like, well, it's still May 4th. And what really matters is by the time that the Cougars play Ohio State on November 2nd, they have a big man. But that's what they're working on, and that's what they know they need. And so I just kind of said, hey, you know what? They're working on it.
Yeah, and quality bigs
take some time.
They're really hard to find.
Yeah,
their value is really high. They're really hard to find. It does no different for Lee on the women's side. They are
everybody
hard.
wants one.
They're hard to find. There's just not as many of them. So.
Some schedule news: Queens and LaSalle reporting going to play home games at BYU this next season. You and I will be on those games. It screams right off the page.
Yeah.
But we'll look forward to that.
Bring New York and Philly into
That's
the
right.
house.
That's how we're going to do it.
So where we go. So Fox Sports' Casey Jacobson ranks BYU at number 22 in his latest top 25. So what is Casey? Why does he now like BYU?
I don't know.
So,
but you know what?
He's a Stanford guy.
If they get this center that they want or that they're working on, then they'll just catapult.
They'll jump right up. You're right.
NCAA Tournament is going to expand to 76 teams. Should be finalized this month to go from 68 to 76. The purists, or the people who like to think they're purists, are up in arms. I can't believe you're messing with it. The people who love basketball, like, okay, we'll watch.
Didn't it used to be way less? I mean, they've expanded it multiple times.
Yeah. And you know what? We're watching games in the NIT that week of teams that didn't get an NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
We'll watch them if they're in the NCAA tournament. Now they have more of a reason, and there'll be a few more teams that get in and all that stuff. But, you know, of course they're doing it for money.
Yeah.
But they're doing it for money because we'll watch. If we weren't watching, they might be hey, maybe we should shrink the tournament down to.
Yep. I like it. I'm
fine. Okay with it. I'm not that big of a purist.
You know how he threw out there, hey, tell us who the athlete of the week should be?
Yeah.
I know there were some good ones out there. So somebody's saying athlete of the week should be Rasmussen, who broke
Paige
the BYU
Rasmussen.
200 meter record.
She had
22.69. That's crazy.
Yeah,
That's
she's
true. That's
great.
crazy fast. So.
That's crazy fast. They're all fast.
Yeah.
They lit up the Robinson. By the way, we'll have a report on that coming up.
Bit.
Some women's basketball news. BYU is going to play a home against old Mountain West rival New Mexico. Cougars will host the Lobos on November 14th, and then they'll go to the Pit the following season.
Right.
It'll be the first time the two teams have been together since the Mountain West Conference days in, 2011?
Yeah, that's wild. Lee's played some games in the Pit before himself.
Yeah, yes. We got a lot of questions for him.
we got some
Look at
questions.
he's coming in right now. Our first guest tonight just finished his debut season as the women's head basketball coach at BYU, and during that year, he doubled the Cougars' win total from 13 to 26. It's our pleasure to welcome Lee Cummard back to the Wise Guys, and everyone on the stream's excited. One of the first comments out was, happy you're having Coach Cummard on the show tonight, and so we're happy to have you here. Welcome.
It's good to be back with you guys. It's been a while.
You found it okay? You recognized the neighborhood?
Yep.
What do you think about New Mexico home and home, playing down in the Pit?
Yeah, it's great. It's a great venue. They have a tradition of winning there. For us, it's about getting Sydney Benally back home while still playing a quality opponent. So they'll come to us this year. Then we'll return to Albuquerque for her junior year.
Right.
Depending on the role, could be her junior whatever year.
Yeah, exactly.
So now when you played Arizona State, I mean, half the arena were full of Sydney Benally fans.
Yep.
So what's that even going to be like at the Pit?
I would imagine it would be 2X, 3X,
Wow.
10X, whatever it is. It was pretty spectacular at Arizona State. It was also great at Arizona. It was shockingly there was a great crowd at Kansas. Like, we came after the game, wasn't a great game, so we won't talk about that. But they just kind of swarmed our locker room area. There's kind of a big lobby area, gathering space, and yeah, it was a little overwhelming, I think, for the rest of the team, as well as for Sydney. So.
After that Arizona State game, she was on Sports Nation the next day because you guys came home that night and you beat the Sun Devils, and it was a big win. And so I was interviewing her with Spencer or Jerem on Sports Nation, and we were talking about it. It was like she was Elvis.
Oh, it was incredible. I mean, I think the video's out there. She kind of comes out of the arena.
Yeah.
And they had to put up security railing and had a security team out there and the coaching staff was trying to buffer her and kind of direct her where she could, not be swarmed as much. But she was a rock star, and it was cool to see.
It's fun, and she's sort of used to it. She's used to being in the limelight and representing, Native American period, not just her tribe, right? But it's even gone above and beyond that, right?
So a lot of people don't know. So in the Native community, basketball is huge. It's probably the number one sport. There's an NBA player. His name's Marjan Beauchamp. He kind of represents the men's side of Native basketball. And then there's Sydney Benally, who represents the women's side, like the two biggest names in the Native community as it pertains to basketball. And, she carries it very well. This was very eye-opening this year. From a social media standpoint, and the impressions and views and everything that comes and comments that come with anything pertaining to Sydney. And then on the road, seeing just droves of fans that want to see a woman play that looks, or as part of their community.
Yeah, love it.
It was before one of the home games, the president of the Navajo Nation was in Utah, and he went and saw the first presidency of the church, and then he came and saw Sydney.
We called that game, didn't we? Call that game?
I'm not sure which. Can't remember who it was.
So
but
was it Stanford? I can't remember.
I want to say it was earlier in the year.
Yeah, maybe it was.
He had some business in Utah and made sure to bring the people he was with to our home game. Sat right there on the front row, and it was cool.
Very cool.
That's big.
So we talked about this home and home with New Mexico. That leads to the question about putting a non-conference schedule together with the Big 12. As tough as it is, it's a grind, right?
Yeah.
What's your formula for putting together just the right amount of challenge in preseason?
Yeah, I think last year with how young we were, it was lighter than probably will be this year. Okay, we pretty much have our non-conference. Still waiting to find out who's going to be part of our MTE in Florida this year. But we have quite a few returners that we played. But most of the teams that we're playing are at or near the top of their conferences, with a couple, good games in there to really see where we're at, with it. It'll be a little bit harder than last year. Formula-wise for us, now we can play 14. You want to schedule to go at least win 11, but challenge yourself to where maybe you go 11-3 or 13-1 or 12-2, and anything 9 or less, you're probably you schedule too hard based on the metrics, and the Big 12 has a consultant on it, and that's kind of where he tells us we need to be at.
Yeah.
So,
any big fish that you can't announce that you'd like to?
Yeah, we're still waiting the MTE.
Okay.
There'll be some P5.
Now, last year was
you don't have to tell us, but we can let people know, hey, the little tease, guys, there's going to be a couple announcements.
The big game last year was Vanderbilt, right?
Correct. And that happened in the Virgin Islands. Yeah. It'll be similar to that in the MTE that we're playing in. And it's kind of on that company, too.
Sure.
We've been told there's a few people that don't want to play because we're in it. And we're curious to see who's going to get in it, and maybe we don't want to play, that team, or maybe we do, right? But no, what we want from an MTE, and this is kind of what we told the girls after we played Vanderbilt and played them tough. Like we came to the Virgin Islands, we want to go to a warm climate at the end of November.
Sure.
We want to play really good competition to kind of just see where we are as we prepare for the Big 12. I was quite surprised at just how tough the Big 12 is. I mean, I had seen it, but you just feel it differently in the new chair, and it's you just wish there was a game or two where you could just kind of breathe a little bit, get some playing time for the back half of your roster, but it's relentless.
I thought of the 26 wins, beating Kansas in the semifinals of the WBIT was. And I was beating Utah 3 times was great. But beating Kansas...
Beating Utah 3 times is never a bad thing,
yeah.
Right?
Kansas is a team that beat you earlier. They out-physiced you big time the year before. And then to beat them on a neutral floor, I thought that showed a lot.
Yeah, it was great. We had a lot of firsts this year. We had yet to beat Kansas up until that point. One year we played them 3 times. They beat us all 3 times. Prior to the Big 12 tournament, we hadn't won a game in the state of Kansas State or Kansas, or the Big 12 tournament multiple times. So it was good, but that game was fun. We just kind of got it rolling there at the end and played some good quality teams that had size and athleticism and skill, and we had to be the better team and be the tougher team, and then came up against a very quality opponent in Columbia and kind of got put in our place. But
they had it going for them.
Overall, it was a fun, great year.
You played and coached in the men's game. Now you just mentioned it's a little different in the new chair. You win 26 games in your first year as a head coach in the women's game. What's the most noticeable difference between coaching the women's game compared to coaching the men's game? And how have you made that adjustment?
On the court, I think it's very similar. I think the women are a lot more receptive to the pure side of the game. Dribbling, passing, shooting, and the only other difference I would say is the conversations are a little bit different on the team, in the locker room. A lot more dancing on the women's side. The recruiting process, that relationship is huge, and in the current roster, that relationship means a whole lot. The NIL world is kind of turning that on its head a little bit because it makes it a little bit more transactional, and there's a number involved with it, and they feel that differently, in my opinion. But overall, it's the same. You want to play good basketball, play solid defense, take good shots, value it. Don't throw it to the other team, and be tough.
How impactful was Jeff Judkins on your decision to stick with women's basketball? Because you had opportunities to go back.
Yeah, I would. I was actually going to get out. I was going to get out. I have a ton of family in insurance in Arizona. and I was down the path with a few big brokerages, insurance companies in Salt Lake, and for whatever reason, they just took forever to come to the table. I actually had my insurance license, my commercial license.
Really?
And I'm like, hey guys, I'm ready to go. Like, what are we doing? And for whatever reasons, vacations with the executive teams or whatever, just kind of prolonged. And then the week that they finally came to the table, that Monday is when this conversation started with Coach Judkins. And you know, I don't want to make it really spiritual, but it talks about my life in an area of sports. And so I just seen it play out in that way. And I don't think that was coincidence. Although, you know, sometimes I wonder, all my family does extremely well, cousins, uncles, brothers, and they live an unbelievable life. You know, when it's spring break, they go out and they do a lot of stuff with their family. But I think that I've seen some of the revelation in my patriarchal blessing kind of play out to this point.
Did Jetty say anything that?
No, he just thought there was a good opportunity. He knew that Dan was going to go over to Utah Valley, that he might have something. And, you know, we talked a couple of times just about, hey, talk to me about it. You went from the men's side to the women's side. What's the difference? Can I even do this? You know, will I be able to connect and reach the players? You know, and yeah, no, he said he just just boosted me with confidence. Like, you'll be great at this. And we got a great team, and come be a part of this.
Your family has less stress than you, I'm sure, but you're where you're supposed to be.
Yeah, no, it's funny because when I first came back, I'm talking to all of them like, hey, what should I do? I got this opportunity. And I knew I wanted to come back and be a GA and get a master's and kind of open myself back up to the network of Cougar Nation, right? Just get back in front of everybody. And everybody in insurance is like, no, you don't want, you got an in, you got to go. You got to go do this. And I'm like, wait, so tell me how I don't want to work less than 20 hours a week and play all day long and play golf whenever I want and make a great living and all these other things. Okay. So, but yes, to your point, it's been where I'm supposed to be. And I'm sure of it.
So 2019, right? Is that right when this was going on?
I came back in 2016.
Right.
Had multiple conversations then. After every year, had the same conversation. Like I said, I got my insurance license, thinking, and then when Coach Rose got let go, I wasn't being retained. It was like, all right, you know, I want to keep my family here. We like you here. And then another opportunity presented. So
that's awesome stuff. Yeah, your job's way more rewarding. So, what did you learn in the new chair as the head coach in this debut season that surprised you? Is there anything that you thought, whoa, that's... Yeah,
the amount of thoughts that run through your head is I wasn't prepared for. I still think through things deeply a lot. Probably should get better at that. I hope to get better at it as we go forward. The other thing is I knew you had to make a lot of decisions, but it just seems like there's a decision after decision after decision, you know, especially in that first year. And some of it's tedious or inconsequential, you know. Should we get up and go to shoot around at 8 a.m. or should we sleep in and then do a walkthrough in the hotel? Stuff like that. But I think those things are important. I think everything's important. So I probably think a little bit more than, you know, Coach Rose or Coach Judkins would at this point.
Yeah, but when any of those, every decision that's made, people are weighing in, but then they all go, Lee, what do you want to do?
Yeah, no doubt about it.
You're the final say on everything.
Yeah, for sure. And some of it, it's easy for them to throw out, you know, this is what I think. And it's like, okay, yeah, that's easy for you to say, but I'm going to be the one that takes the arrows or, you know, have to live with that decision. So, but the decision part and my brain just doesn't shut off. It's getting better. I'm now to a point where I can actually focus if I'm on a walk and listen to an audiobook or a podcast where probably the first 10 months there was no chance. But that was the most surprising.
Was there any moment during the season when the other team was on some miraculous run and you couldn't stop them that you thought to yourself, what would I be doing if I was selling insurance?
No, you're in the heat of a battle. That's not going through. You're wondering, hey, should I have called a timeout 2 possessions ago? Because now's the good time, you know.
BYU women's basketball coach Lee Cummard on the Wise Guys, presented by Brady Plus and Mountain America Credit Union. One good thing that the NCAA is doing is they're going to allow foreign trips now every year. And every time that you have one, or that Kevin Young has one, or any coach has one, it's always talked about how bonding of an experience it was for the team and how much that meant early in the season, even into late. So are you going to plan one for every year, or how do you jump on this new twist?
You know, we're still like stewing over that as a staff. What gives us a competitive advantage, right? What's best for our team? I think it's a year-to-year thing. Also got to get approval from the higher ups.
Yeah.
But some of them can be smaller, like where you go to Canada and you play and you almost have a training camp at a different location.
Right.
And you can play other D1s on these trips now. So could be a Hawaii, could be a Canada, could be somewhere in Central or South America. Puerto Rico has them. It doesn't have to be Europe or Australia or somewhere in Asia. But just want to use it to improve, right? Make your program the best. It can help in recruiting. It can be differentiator there. We're coming up on ours. We won't do one this year. It's too short of a notice.
Yeah.
We're actually supposed to go in 27 anyways, so we're already planning that. And we'll just kind of go from there, what we want. We kind of want to use it to lift the experience of the student athlete.
You know, Dave and I, anytime anything in any sport is in Hawaii or the South Pacific, we always volunteer to help in any way.
We'll cover it all.
We'll take the show on the road. We'll do whatever you need us to.
We were actually thinking about going to Japan in 2027.
Okay, we're up for that.
Bola went to high school there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
I played there. I think it's in my new role. I want to, I'm really intentional about what we do. I think that they may not get there if we don't go as a team, right? They'll probably get to Europe. They could get to Australia. Yeah. Japan is probably not the highest, but it's so cool. The culture is so awesome, and it's just different. And that's kind of where I'm leaning.
How's your Japanese? You still keep
I know what rice is. I know what chicken is, and I know how to say hi. That's about it.
Well, hey, let's talk about this returning team a little bit. Two of your star players coming back are on the show next week. We have them next week, right?
Yep.
Delaney and Olivia, Delaney Gibb and Olivia Hamlin are coming on with us next week. What do you want Delaney to get done in this off season? Like she had a slow start to this last season, then she really came on down the stretch and looked like the person we thought she was going to be. Now what does she do to take that to the next level?
Honestly, it's what we're kind of charging the whole team to do. We have to become better shooters, okay, and make more shots, and we have to value the basketball more. And those are two areas where she can improve on. And she's great, right? Like, she's a fantastic player. But for her to take the next step, you know, that three-point percentage needs to improve for us as a team. That three-point percentage needs to improve. Overall shooting percentage needs to improve. And then our turnover percentage is too high, and we got to improve it. And she's right there at the top of it, you know. And for her, it's just a challenge of, hey, for your what you want to accomplish, this could get in the way, you know. And we just talked about it, you know, last week with her. About, hey, this is something that, you know, and she's aware of it. She knows it's something that she's just a really aggressive offensive player, and she's best when she's like that. And now it's time to take a step in that area. But as a team, those are two areas we're focusing on. So for her,
when your star player turns the ball over, but she's your star player because of the talent that she has, that gives her the tools to just fix that, doesn't it?
No doubt about it. And the thing is it's really easy to be aggressive when the game's third quarter or first, second, third quarter. But when it's money time, she never shies away from it either. And some people don't want it in that moment.
Right.
And that's what I love about her game. She wants it all.
So you've got Delaney coming back, two-time first-team All-Big 12. She'll be a junior. And then Liv will come back as a sophomore with a full year under her belt. She was first-team All-Freshman Big 12. What's on her to-do list for this offseason?
She's got to grow as well. Shooting's one of them that we're working on with her. I think for her, the next step is on the shooting side. She's such a phenomenal scorer. She comes in and it's a bunch. She just scores in bunches. But for her, I think she can take a huge step forward defensively and become an all-defensive, all-league player. and just kind of dominate the game from that standpoint. And then the other thing that I would say is just kind of learning the game a little bit more. You know, in high school, even if she had 3 people on her, it was still a great option.
Just score out, right?
At this level, it's just making reads, decision-making, better decision-making, cleaner reads. But don't forget who you are. You're a scorer at will.
Speaking of shooters, Kaylee Woolston's back from her church mission and has been back long enough to be in the gym and get her shot back. She was an outstanding freshman. What do you expect from her after a couple of years outside of the game?
More of the same.
Yeah.
We see it. She was with us the second half of the season, just practicing. And then as we've started spring workouts, shooting is definitely a strength to her. But I think she's a phenomenal offensive-minded player. She has great feel for the game, knows when the next pass, knows if I'm going to go screen and they cut or wrap around me, she knows what the read is from there. She's got a great feel for the game. Other than that, just, let's tighten up everything.
Yeah.
But she can make shots.
Yeah.
Yeah. We talked about Sydney Benally a little bit. She'll be a sophomore now, so she played a big role as a freshman out on the court. And it wasn't just that she was a superstar; she was a great contributor on this team as a point guard. How valuable was her debut season to you, and what do you expect from her as she moves into her sophomore season?
Yeah, she plays with great poise, very mature for a freshman. Great at reading the game, especially if she's in space. I think we need to put a little more pressure on her in workouts, in practice, because that's what teams are going to do. So challenge her that way. Shooting percentages need to come up. Again, as a team, that needs to happen. But honestly, seeing some of the, I don't want to say the weight or the pressure, but just representing that whole community, she carries it very well. And I think year 2, she'll be even better at it.
Be a lot of ticket sales.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's one thing we do know.
We do know she'll bring that.
BYU women's basketball coach Lee Cummard on the Wise Guys, live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and wiseguys.com. Gracie Levelston's with us. She's going to join us in a few minutes. Fantastic tennis player at BYU. Let's talk about some size, and then we'll hit you up with 5 questions. Benally Yusuf at 6'3", had signs of being a dominant post player. It was tremendously young. How do you get her ready to be that dominant player in 6 months?
Yeah, she's got to take a jump. She's gotten better every single day. I mean, if everybody could see the first few weeks of practice, I think she set an offensive foul almost every single possession. But she needs to take a jump, and she's going to have every opportunity to play and play a lot. Fouling is something she needs to clean up in order to stay on the floor. She's got such great physical tools, a great knack for finding the basketball either off the rim or defensively rim protecting. And she's just got to improve her overall ball skills. We want to get her to a place where we can throw it into the post and play off of that. She's got to improve her decision-making out of a ball screen and roll or a short roll. And then also we play are big kind of up in the high post area where there's some dribble handoffs and reading, some of the split action that we run with the guards quicker. But she's going to have a great summer. She's actually over in Senegal right now or Egypt with a teammate and a couple of the men's players doing some service camps at an academy. So she's enjoying that. But yeah, she needs to have a big summer, and we're looking forward to her kind of taking that step or stepping into the hole that's going to be vacated by Lara.
Everybody's looking for the big center. She could be the big center.
Yeah, no. So when we came into the portal season, we felt like we wanted to look for a post like everybody else in the country. Okay, and I'm following the guys too, right? I see everybody's talking about that. What people got to realize is, let's say there's 60 post players that go in the portal. Might be more than that. Let's say there's 100. Well, 3/4 of those aren't good enough for our level, right? They're not, okay? And then you go to, let's say there's 100, so now you're at 25. Probably 10 to 15 of them, honor code, don't want to come to the West Coast or west side of the country.
Just not a fit.
Or not a fit, or there's a money component to this as well. Yeah. And then you get into, okay, those boxes are all checked. now we're competing against, at least on the women's side, TCU and UCLA and LSU and South Carolina. And so it's not an easy thing because everybody in the country is looking for that. So we felt like we wanted to do that. And it kind of came down to where we probably should have gone a little bit more after some early. We didn't love. Yeah. And thought we were going to have some swings at a couple, and we had a couple swings, but we didn't want to bring somebody in here just because they're a post player. Right. 6'4", that averaged 3 points and 2 rebounds and didn't protect the rim at all. We'd rather play with skill and athleticism than just straight size. So I don't know what KY and them have going and what they're looking for, but there were people available, but we felt unless they could help us, we'll rather just play with who we have.
I think they deal with exactly the same things I think everybody deals with exactly what you're describing. So you did get a nice transfer from North Carolina, and it's Astakova.
Yep,
right?
Lisa.
So Lisa's coming from Moscow, Russia.
Yeah.
What does she bring to this team?
Yeah, so, background. Okay, she was committed to us. Okay, she was coming last year. There was some political unrest. BYU got... so long story short, we couldn't bring her in last summer. She went to North Carolina. She had almost everybody at the table. And then when she went in the portal, we felt like, hey, if we're going to play small, let's get some size that has skill, you know? And so it was an easy thing. When she went in, we weren't having great success or felt like we were going to end with somebody post player wise. And for us, we'll just play small ball and space it out a little bit, but that at least gives us some size.
And make them adjust to you.
Yeah, absolutely. And we got some size coming in as true freshmen, and so we'll play with, a little more athleticism, but we wanted to have size, if we go small.
I love it. So, hey, speaking of, when we were talking about Branch coming in, and he has a 7'3" wingspan.
Yeah, what's yours?
What's yours?
I'm 6'8".
6'8" span?
Yeah, 6'8", yeah.
7'3" is crazy for a kid his height, right?
Listen, I've seen it. They've worked out. They haven't gone live yet that I've seen. He's got some long arms. It's tangible how long his arms are. Okay, he looks every bit the part.
Is he as long as Foos's arms?
He's really.
Because those were pretty.
He's pretty smooth, and he goes up to finish. His hands right at the rim, and it doesn't look like he's jumping very hard.
I remember when I was calling the games in the old league, and Kawhi was at San Diego State, and you would walk and be like, his arms hanging down to his knees, but I think half of it was his hands.
Yeah.
One time I was talking to him as he was warming up, and the ball came out of the net, and he didn't look, and he was still talking to me, and he reached over and he caught the ball going downhill on top of the ball, and I was like, did you just do that? And he's like, just I do what? And I go, you caught the ball on top of the ball. He goes, no, I didn't. I go, yeah, you did.
Yeah, you see the pictures, and he's like slapping hands with somebody, and it's like a 6'10" guy in the NBA, and it makes his hands look tiny.
It's crazy.
We're looking forward to seeing Bruce.
Branch is that kind of length, which would be cool.
He looks the part. He's got that swagger, awesome. And he looks it.
Let's do 5 questions presented by Strategy Square. Let Chantel grow your business through social media. You can reach her at strategysquare.co. 5 rapid-fire questions. These are different from the ones you've received before.
You did a different set, but these are. So we're going to start with this. Who's your favorite sports icon?
Oh, wow. That is so hard. Growing up, basketball being my first love, I love 5 players. Okay. Charles Barkley, Michael Jordan, Reggie Miller, Dennis Rodman, and you guys won't know him, but Mark West. He was a starting center on the Suns.
I remember. How would we not know Mark West?
We know Mark West. We're old.
He didn't have a great role, but for whatever reason, I love that guy.
That's awesome.
Okay, so of those 5, who would you start at number 1? Who's your best?
Oh, come on, you can't.
It's got to be Jordan, right?
It's got to be Jordan.
I knew you were going to say that.
So my guy was always Michael's idol, Dr. J.
Julius, sure.
He was something special. Okay. Your favorite concert you've ever been to?
Ooh. Is Broadway allowed on that?
Yeah. Absolutely.
I would say Hamilton, the play.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Carrie Underwood, Tim McGraw, they're up there as well. But I'm low-key a show tunes guy. I like Broadway.
Okay.
That's good.
All right.
Hamilton is something special. Okay, your favorite hamburger. Like, if you're going to go to a place to get the best hamburger in the world, it can be anywhere you've
best hamburger in the world?
Best hamburger in the world you've ever had. Where do we go to find this?
I go to, here in Provo, I go to Burger Supreme.
Burger
Where's
Supreme.
Burger Supreme? I don't even know this place.
It's right by. It's on your way to the football stadium.
Yeah, it's right by.
It's related to the Apollo
Jamba
Burger
Juice.
guys.
El Tio's there now.
I have to try.
That's a good
I'm
one.
always up
Yeah.
for a good burger. So I heard
I don't really like thick restaurant type burgers. I just want
like smash burgers, like the.
That one's like In-N-Out is good, but like if you go to a restaurant and the patty's like this thick, like no thanks.
You're out. Okay.
Yeah.
Burger
What's the
Supreme.
place that's in like a trailer, but now they have a house behind it on State Street?
Fancy Burger.
Yeah, everybody's telling me
That's
that's
good.
See, I haven't been
That's
there.
where it's
I haven't been there.
That's worth.
We all need to try Fancy Burger.
But
I'm
there's
gonna try
Provo Burger
Supreme.
now. My kids swear by it. It's right by Days Market.
Yeah, there's
Provo
always a
Burger.
crowd over there.
Yeah, it's getting quite popular.
Let's check it out. Okay.
All these people need to pay us a royalty
Yeah.
for this
Yeah,
conversation right
Seriously.
now. But we'll do Lee's hamburger places.
Yeah.
We'll have it be a weekly segment.
I
We'll
love
get you some
burgers.
money out of that one. Me too. So, all right, your favorite venue to play in,
Ooh.
and it can be as a coach, as a player, like your favorite.
Yeah,
venue
so I mean, I'm gonna say the Marriott Center
Okay.
for obvious
Okay,
reasons.
yeah.
Okay, but
Okay, then give us number
outside
two.
of the Marriott Center, I played in a town of Aalst, Belgium. Okay, it's just a suburb of Brussels, and they have what's called the Carnival game. Okay, and everybody comes in costumes. It is electric. Played in it 4 times. My first game when I joined the team was a Carnival game. And I forever loved that game, and I would encourage anybody to go to it.
Gracie, you're getting all different questions. So.
These are not your
These are not
questions,
yours.
Gracie, so don't think
I was
they're.
taking notes.
So, okay, and last one, probably the most important because you're going to be held accountable for this is what's the favorite bit of advice that Sarah, your wife, has ever given you?
You know, I don't know if it was advice, but after my freshman year at BYU, I was quite frustrated. I was thinking about transferring. Went into Coach Rose and talked to him. And at some point during all that process of kind of weighing it out, she just said, "Hey, you're not transferring. You're here. We're here." And it was a pivotal moment, you know, for how things have played out.
Yeah.
So that's what comes to mind when you ask that question.
She's immediately,
Good
no,
answer.
we're staying here. So,
Yep.
Hey, have a great summer.
Hey, thanks.
Yeah.
We'll see you in the gym, and before you know it, we'll be talking about your new schedule.
I was telling Delaney and Liv, we were with them up in Park City, the thing that they're doing with us, and they were asking me about you. And I said, well, because I used to broadcast Lee's games, and I said, the opposing coach would always say about Lee, I don't know how that dude is so tough. I've never seen a more physically tough dude that's that thin. And they said it's a mentality thing, and he just brings it, and it's hard to get people to play like that. I think that's a nice compliment.
Yeah.
And Delaney and Olivia were like, huh, that's interesting. I said, you gotta respect that.
I'll tell a quick story about Livy. Okay, she's hilarious. We were coming back from something. Anyways, somebody had just sent me like a 2-minute clip from our senior year highlights or whatever. Yeah. And I'm like, hey, you guys want to see some footage, you know? So I had my phone back. There's a couple of video clips of me dunking. It stops. Livy goes, so wait, you could dunk? I'm like, I played professionally. I played at BYU. I'm 6'6". I hope I can dunk. But she's
They
like,
got TV in St. George.
I thought you just stood in the corner and shot threes. So funny story with
is
her.
awesome.
So thanks for having me. It's been awesome.
It's great to have
No, we
video
always-
support of
yeah.
your dunks.
Yes.
Your kids will appreciate
and,
those.
And Lee was like, I was telling those girls, I'm like, Lee defended like a crazy man. He could shoot it. He could put the ball on the floor and finish. Like he was a complete player. And that's what he expects out of you. And they're all like, okay.
Those are two
okay.
good ones right there.
Yeah, they're fun.
Lee Cummard with us. Thanks, Lee.
Thanks, Lee.
We'll see you soon.
Appreciate you being with us, brother.
Women's head basketball coach, 26 wins this year in his debut season. I guess you have to go for 30 then the next year just to keep.
I'd hate to put those
keep
kind of
going that up.
expectations on our brother Lee, but
we will.
that's how
we
goes.
do it.
So
Hey, let's do the Re-Lyte Athlete of the Week, presented by Redmond. The secret's in the salt. Learn what it can do for you at redmond.com. And it's our pleasure to announce BYU freshman golf sensation Kihei Akina as the Re-Lyte Athlete of the Week. Tell us what he's done.
well, and by the way, a couple of folks on the chat said, yeah, Kihei is the one. So Akina made history during the first round of the Big 12 championships. He shot 7 under 63. It tied for the lowest single score in conference tournament history. So golf director of golf Todd Miller said, Kihei 63 is one of the best rounds of golf I've witnessed.
And he's seen a lot of golf.
Oh, yeah. He's seen some unbelievable golf over his career. And so congratulations to Kihei Akina. He went on to finish the tournament with an 8-under runner-up finish, the highest finish for a BYU golfer in the conference tournament since Zach Jones won the WCC championship in 2023. It's also the highest finish by a BYU freshman since Peter Quest won the 2017 WCC title. Akina is currently ranked number 6 in college golf in the country. And guess what, folks? He is just getting started.
Kihei Akina is the Re-Lyte Athlete of the Week. The secret is in the salt. Learn what it can do for you at Redmond.com. Click on the link in the chat and the show notes for the discount code giving you 15% off of Redmond products. And we're going to call Kihei's name a whole lot. Our next guest, we're going to call her name a lot too.
Oh, yes.
Is a star on the women's tennis team who just earned first team all Big 12 honors. She's 6'1", a junior from Vero Beach, Florida, just transferred to BYU from UCF, and so far it has been quite a ride. This season alone, 14-5 in singles play. Her story, though, is just getting started. Our pleasure to have Gracie Levelston on the Wise Guys. One, we're so glad you're feeling better tonight. Yeah. Welcome to the show.
No, I'm so happy to be here, and I'm really grateful that you guys were very patient with me. That was a rough night, but no, I'm super stoked to be here and to talk with you guys.
We're glad to have you. So for those, I think most people know we were going to have you on last week.
Yeah.
You were sick. So we just scrambled, and it was great, and we're so happy to have you here tonight. I was just talking before you came in that I watched you multiple times this year, and I told Dave, she's very vocal on the court. I said, she scores a point. If I'm looking the other way, I'm like, oh, Gracie must have just scored because she let us all know about it. And you also yell down to your other teammates.
Yeah.
And what's that like? You bring a lot of energy to this team. Do you do that purposefully, or is that just who you are?
I think it's a mix of both. I think that as like being captain, we have team expectations, and one of those is to talk with our teammates, call out to them, cheer them on. If they say, come on, we back them up, stuff like that. But I think also it does come very naturally to me, and I enjoy doing it. Like, I enjoy feeling like I'm supporting my teammates, and sometimes for me, it helps me relieve a little bit of stress, relax a little bit if I can be vocal and get that out. So yeah, I would say it's a good mix of both.
So be honest, and this is a show where we're always honest.
Yeah,
Always,
everybody's
always.
honest.
When you serve it up, how fast can you hit it?
I would say definitely breaking 100.
Really?
I would say beyond that, I might be giving myself a couple extra miles per hour, but I'd say breaking 100.
So over 100. So she's a Nolan Ryan fastball.
Yeah.
Is what she is with her serve.
That's impressive.
Who has the fastest serve in women's tennis in the world, do you think?
I would say Sabalenka's up there, Coco Gauff is up there, Ostapenko's up there.
And they're what, 115?
Yeah, they're probably around 115, 120.
And you're going to get there.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, you'll get there for sure. Brenda and I, you met my wife, Brenda. She's in the studio helping. We were at Wimbledon last summer, and we got to watch. It was so epic. We were sitting courtside right in mid-court. Oh, it was a blast. You're going to play in Wimbledon someday, right?
Yeah, no, for sure. I feel like really the next 2 years for me are going to be how prepared can I get for the Pro Tour.
During a singles match, what ultimately decides it for you? Your mental edge or your physical edge?
Definitely mental. I would say physically, I love the gym. Like, my coach, she sent me a text before I went to NCAAs, and she was like, because I sent a photo that I was in the gym to like our group chat, and she texted me personally, and she was like, hey, make sure you're not overdoing it. I need you healthy for NCAAs. So like, I'm one of those players where my coach has got to be careful and like make sure I'm not overdoing it. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely the mental side. And that's one thing that has been really great for me, but also kind of frustrating in that if I do lose the match, it's never physical. It's never, wow, I felt super sick, or, oh, mentally I couldn't do it anymore. It always comes down to mental, which is, something that I have to work on, but definitely something that I'm aware of.
I would imagine, because I know your story, if someone asked you 18 months ago, would you be a star at BYU, a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and on the Wise Guys, what would you have said?
The Wise Guys would have been the most shocking part for me.
Well, here you are.
I'm amazed. And no, I would not believe it one bit. I mean, I stepped away and I really thought that like that was going to be it. Like I full on was in that mentality of not picking up my racket again. And so
This is after your first year at UCF?
yeah, after my second year.
Second year.
And so to have achieved what I have in the last 2 years being here at BYU, I'm really proud of myself and almost just more proud of like my younger self rather than, where I am right now, just for kind of taking that leap.
So you're about to join the military. Uh-huh. You're filling out your forms. You're done with tennis forever. And that's it for you. And you're one of the top rated tennis players in the state of Florida. So this isn't just Blaine and me playing tennis.
Yeah.
This is
Heavens
big
no.
time, right? You're the best of the best. You're ready to give it all up and join the military. What was going on?
I have always struggled with injuries,
Yeah.
and I feel like when I was younger, it was especially bad. When I had a really big growth spurt, my knees, I like genuinely could not do any sort of running over a couple minutes without my knees hurting. And then my wrist happened. And so I had a difference in the lengths of the bones in my wrists. And that took a lot of doctor's visits and about a year of not even knowing what was going on. And then another year of just, waiting for my bones to grow, which is literally the slowest physical process in the body. And so then when I got to UCF, a couple months in, I had my first stress fracture. And that was, only supposed to take 6 to 8 weeks. I'm back, I'm good. And I was redshirting anyway, so it really wasn't that big of a stress. But then it took way longer. And, it was very mentally taxing, obviously physically taxing. I'm healthy for 2 months, one beach sand workout. I was like, wow, my foot kind of hurts again and in the exact same spot. And by no means did I think that it was refractured again, but it was just 2 months after I'd gotten cleared. And so, and the second time it takes longer for the bone to rebuild. And that was really brutal. And so I was kind of just coming off of a trend of injuries. I went home to take some time to just kind of recoup, and I was like, life's kind of good when I'm just making money, chilling, I don't have to, I'm on my own time.
Yeah.
And I kind of started to think, well, maybe that's not my path, and maybe I try to exercise something else and see where that takes me.
BYU tennis star Gracie Levelston's on the Wise Guys, presented by Brady Plus and Mountain America Credit Union. And so when you're beat down physically and you're having a struggle, it's a grind.
Yeah.
And you're getting through that grind, but at the last minute, you enter the transfer portal, and our good friend Holly Hassler, BYU's tennis coach, calls up. What was your first reaction?
I knew nothing about BYU, nothing. And I remember I called Holly. She's in the car. And Holly is a D1 multitasker. And so she's calling me. She's probably trying to handle a trillion other things, but she makes time for me, and she is so passionate. I was like, wow, this woman really cares. And she's like showing me on FaceTime, like, Utah, and I love the mountains. And
Wait, she was driving the car and FaceTiming you the mountains?
she was stopped. Don't worry. And I just remember being like, okay, yeah, this is for sure an option for me. Just how much she cared, and she sent me like tons of resources that I could learn a little bit more about BYU, and obviously I did my own research, but yeah, I was like, no, BYU is for sure an option.
So 2 days before your trip out here, you decide, I'm not going, and you call and tell her. What happened?
I was a little bit on the fence. I feel like I had never even been to Utah before my visit, and I had no idea what it was going to be like. My parents both had some reservations, and so I had also just gone to Michigan State And so, which is my dad's alma mater.
Oh, man.
Like, I'd be a couple hours from family. I thought it was amazing, and I still do. I love the coaches there. I think that they've really got something special. And so I called Holly. I was like, hey, like, I'm not sure. I'm, kind of on the fence. And she was like, just come and, just have your own experience and like kind of see where that takes you. There's no pressure from her. It wasn't like you have to come, but she really advised me to just kind of take that leap and, have my own perspective on BYU.
So you make the visit and you see the school. They take you all around. You meet the team. Then you commit on the spot.
Yeah.
You commit while you're here.
In Holly's office.
So what did you feel or hear that had such an impact on you that you were coming with not really a thought, almost maybe just being kind?
Yeah.
To, I'm in. I'm here.
So when I was transferring, the first time I was getting recruited at UCF, like, I had no idea what college was like. I had no idea what the recruiting process was. Everybody's talking about like, oh, these are my top picks, this. I had no idea going into college, even being the number 2 recruit. It was like being recruited was like such a mystery to me. And so the second time around, I was like, okay, I'm going to have a really supportive coaching staff and just good resources. I'm going to love the team culture, and I'm going to be somewhere where I want to live for the next 4 years. That was like my 3 main things. And then how I felt emotionally and my experiences that I had on my visit would ultimately kind of be the deciders. And so when I came to BYU, I loved Holly. I love Utah. I love the mountains. They're a decent substitute for the beach. and yeah, I just really loved the team. And so I think meeting the girls, having good experiences with them, but I also had a not so good experience while I was on my visit, but it was like just with some people, and one of the girls on the team, Avery Pope, instantly just stood up for me, like without a second thought, just instantly said something. And I was like, wow, like, I'm not even sure if anybody outside of Utah in my life has stood up for me like that, let alone like even some of my friends maybe. And so to see just the love and the care that everybody here has, I was like, I feel super at home. And so I actually moved out here 6 days after my visit, after I had committed, and just got going.
Well, things happen pretty quick around here. As you know, last fall, you and Kendall Kovic marched to the round of 16 in the NCAA doubles. First time for BYU since 1994. This year, as the ace, you lead the Cougars to their highest ranking in 20 years at number 26. And somewhere there along the way, you're introduced to the church. What was it about the church that caught your attention?
A lot of people ask me like, oh, what was so different and like that drew you in? But it was more of what was the same for me, the family values, the emphasis on service, how much people really just care about each other and how kind they are. And I was like, that's something that I want. And when it came to having a family that was eternal, that was something that I had already believed in. And I love the fact that now there's something that I could go through and do and go to the temple to really solidify that and to solidify me and my family for eternity. And so when it came to the church, I just really wanted to be a part of a community. I feel like throughout college, my faith has grown tenfold, and just like the practices that I have. And so to have a community, and a community that I share a lot of similarities with, was really important for me. And so when I first came to BYU, I was just going to Sacrament and like didn't really think anything of it. I was like, I just like going to Sacrament meeting. It's, you know, and then it got to a point of, okay, I need to kind of pick a church because I want to be a part of a community. I have this faith, it's growing, and now I kind of want to give it some direction. And so I went to a mainstream Christian church, and I just didn't love it. It wasn't Sacrament. I like how reverent Sacrament is. I like the emphasis on renewal and repentance. And so having that aspect in Sacrament and then not having it, I was like, no, I'm missing out on something if I'm not going to Sacrament. And then so ultimately I started going to Sacrament even more consistently. And then, probably 5 months ago, I just decided like I'm reaching out to the missionaries. Like I just gotta start because I felt like I was on the fence for so long, and I was like, let me just investigate this a little bit deeper. And I can always, decide otherwise, but I feel like being on the fence for this long, I got to just make a decision.
Was there a point in that process, like a seminal moment where you just thought, yeah, I want to get baptized?
I think even before I started meeting with the missionaries, I kind of wanted to get baptized. I feel like my experience with the missionaries was a little bit different. It wasn't like, I'm reaching out to them so that I can learn more, because I'd already been here a year and a half. Yeah. In my first 8 weeks, I was just asking questions. And so it kind of was like, I need to talk to the missionaries in order to get baptized. But I did learn a lot in those couple of weeks and months. And I think something that really was foundational for me is the peace I felt when I started to just make the decision and starting to talk to the missionaries. Like, I didn't feel more stressed in making that decision. I felt more at peace in taking those next couple steps. And my missionaries were amazing. They were a little bit like, if you just drew up a missionary, that's not what they would be, but it was perfect for me. And I've said this to a couple of different people. If my missionaries were completely perfect, said everything they needed to, and it was all by the book on a script, I don't think I would have had the same experience. And I also was able to have them teach me, but also kind of dissect what they were saying and being able to absorb that no matter the vehicle. That was really important to me.
She could have just given us she could have just come and taught the lesson last week in Gospel Doctrine about how the Holy Ghost works and how the light of Christ works in us. And sometimes it's not, hey, you need to get baptized. Yeah. It's just this feeling of peace when you think about that. And it sounds like all along the way, whenever you thought about this, you just had this overwhelming feeling of peace. Yeah. That just describes it like, you need to come teach the lesson on the Holy Ghost in my Gospel Doctrine class.
Missionaries dream of getting calls from someone like you saying, I would like to know more about the church. Can you guys come teach me?
Yeah.
That they'll be telling that story for the rest of their lives.
Yes. No, and we had a group chat, and I would text them when I was reading scripture and just give them my summaries. And they were like, oh, can you read this week? And I was actually, I already read that. Can you guys give me a different one? And so, I would say I was kind of a little bit of a dreamer.
Oh, yeah.
Did you have anybody like Gracie on your mission?
No. I want to go back and have some of those. So 3 weeks ago, April 11th, after the Arizona match, with your team in attendance, you were baptized. And you're coming out of the water and get confirmed. What is it, a new Gracie?
I would say I'm a lot of the same, but I do feel in these last couple weeks, just the little things I've been a lot more appreciative of. And I think that could have happened with or without my baptism, but just definitely I'll walk outside of Walmart, I got hit with this cool breeze and I was like, wow, it's actually gorgeous today. And I think before my baptism, I was kind of struggling with some things, and not that the struggle just goes away because you got baptized, but I think, I might have walked outside and not been able to fully appreciate that because I would have been in my head overthinking things, thinking about, something that happened weeks ago. And so I think just being more present and more appreciative since.
Good answer.
Yeah. Good answer. As you think back, you're still young, so your young life, right? Can you connect the dots now where you feel like maybe the Holy Ghost has nudged you along to do certain things to put you in this position?
Totally. I mean, with going into the military, I was one step away. I literally went to the doctor because when you break bones, it's harder to get military clearance. It's not impossible, but the recruiters, they advised me to go and get a letter that said I was fit for military service. And so I did that. And so I got them the letter, genuinely, I just had the packet, and it's very basic information that you have to fill out to go into the military. It's not you've got to do anything crazy. You just fill out some lines. And so that was really all I had left. And I pushed so hard for that path. Both of my parents, obviously, they had devoted so much time, so many resources into tennis. Mm-hmm. And I don't think they were sad because of that. We've invested this much. We're not going to get the returns. It was more of, we know that this has always been Gracie's dream. And to see her give that up is very saddening. but I pushed so hard for that path, and I kind of, started to have a little bit of tension with my parents. And I mean, it ties into my testimony a lot of like, when you force a path that might not really be the right one, you start to have a lot more turmoil. And I did. And I ignored it, and I just tried to push through it. And then it got to a point where I was like, okay, I can't do this anymore. Like, I'm just going to try something else. And I did. And then I went in the portal, and I was not expecting to get the offers that I did. Like, I was second recruit.
Come on, you're pretty good.
Yeah, I had achieved a lot.
But you were beat up, right?
Yeah, I was super beat up. Like, before college, I played like almost no tournaments. Then I had the 2 stress fractures. I had pretty much played no events in like a year and a half. And so I was like, we'll see. Like, I just went in the transfer portal thinking, if I get a good offer, maybe I'll take it. And if I don't, then I'll, but I got so many offers and a lot more attention than I thought I was going to, which was amazing. And I was super grateful. And then I picked my top schools, took my visits, committed, moved out here 6 days later. I have this new apartment. My mom helped me move. And then I taught summer camps. I met the most amazing Utahns, these little kids that just love tennis, kids from Arizona, Idaho, Cali, and I love coaching. So that was a dream for me to get to meet all of those kids and have an impact on them. And so it was just the second I made that decision to switch, it was boom, 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 boom. Everything just fell into place.
No coincidence.
No.
Yeah, it brought peace to your life. So how valuable, you mentioned your parents, Derek and Christian, right?
Mm-hmm.
How valuable have they been in your life?
And we hope they're watching.
Are they watching back home in Florida?
Maybe. I might just send them a recording.
Okay, that's all good. But the influence that they've had on your life.
I mean, my dad is amazing. My dad served in the military. He's very tough. He's very resilient. He's very faithful. And I think growing up with a male figure like him, I definitely am a lot like my dad, in good ways and in the neutral ways. And so I feel like with my mom, anything I wanted, any dream, done. I support it. If I tell my mom, hey, I'm thinking about doing this, she'll probably call me back a couple days later and she's like, I think that's a great idea for this reason, and this reason. Yeah. And I think you should do it. Anything that's slightly positive for me that has, positive consequences and can lead me down a certain path, she's like, you do it. I called her up and I was like, I'm thinking about doing this independent study in French. And she was like, yeah, I think that's a good idea. Calls me, I call her a couple days later to talk about something. She goes, oh, in that independent study, you should do it. She's just always super supportive and super loving. And I don't think without either of my parents, I would have gotten to this level. When people tell me that, they don't have their full parental support and they're either at the professional level or at the D1 level, I'm like, you have to be the right type of insane because it is so hard to do it without them.
For sure. BYU tennis star Gracie Levelston ranked 107th best singles player in the country. And just think about how many there are. We're live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and wiseguys.com. A couple of more questions. Alan Ashton and McKay Christensen are going to join us in just a couple of moments. These are 2 BYU grads who have changed the world for so many. And we're excited to have them with us. Let's finish with this one before we hit you with 5 quick ones. NCAA Tournament, second time since 2007, right? 2024 and this year. Stanford beat the Cougars 4-2. But how valuable was the experience of getting to the show for next year and the year after?
I mean, I think it kind of just sets the stage for what we can do, and a lot of coming in with this young team, it was, hey, let's do the best that we can. We're just kind of going to try and develop everybody and let's, we had goals that we set out, but I don't think that we really expected this to happen. And so I think, with making it to the NCAAs with this young of a team and then having a little bit more, just seniority come in the next couple of years and having them also be older, I think that, BYU is definitely going to be be a team to watch. And I think it's super cool to be a captain of a team like that because, this season, the clinches were majority are freshmen. And so to see that and to see them grow and develop, it's just been super cool.
Awesome. We're looking forward to it. 5 questions for Gracie are sponsored by Strategy Square. Blaine, let's go.
And they're not the same as Lee's.
No.
Okay.
So, your favorite sports movie? We're going to start with that.
Ooh, Soul Surfer.
Soul Surfer.
Yeah.
I think that's our first Soul Surfer.
Yeah. This is going to be a beach theme, I have a feeling.
Yeah.
People
I like it.
think that
She's the one
my
that had
dream.
survived the shark attack. Yeah, I've seen it. It was really, really good.
People think my dream is like pro tennis, and it is, but pro surfing is just like,
that's where you want to be.
It's up there.
Everybody that's great at something wants to do something else. Like when I was playing football, all the basketball players would come and run routes. I'm like, guys, and they go, "Oh, we just want to play football." I'm like, "You're great in basketball."
Yeah.
We all want to go play
Soul
basketball.
Surfer.
Soul Surfer. Okay. Your favorite singer or band?
Ooh. I listen to like a lot of different music. Let me try to nail one down. I would probably just say I feel like I always go back to SZA.
SZA?
Yeah, SZA.
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 Okay, this is another new one
SZA.
for us. Everybody,
SZA.
check
That's
out
another
SZA.
first for us.
Check out
SZA.
SZA. Okay, this is really important. Your favorite breakfast cereal?
Ooh. I don't know what my favorite one is called, so I'm just gonna go with Honey Nut Cheerios. But there's like these little like rice, crispy, like just little Rice Krispies, and they're like individual and it's slightly sweet, and I can pound that.
Oh.
But I would say Honey Nut Cheerios.
Cereal's a
Oh
good
wait,
nighttime snack.
no.
What?
You just
Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Oh, yeah,
my
that-
gosh, what am I thinking?
That was a quick pivot.
Yeah.
Whoa,
that was
my
good.
bad. But the frosted flake.
But thanks for not saying regular Cheerios too. Because
Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
I'm not crazy.
Okay. All right.
Okay, your favorite thing about the beach?
Probably just like when the water's really clear and you can see anything and everything. And it's just like, because I get a little scared when the water's a little bit too murky, especially like we have a lot of spinner sharks where I'm from and just other sharks as well that migrate through Vero. And so I would say like when the water's really clear, because you're not super stressed, about the marine life that's there. And if you want to just take a quick dip and, put on some goggles, go snorkeling, you can. There's just so much you can do when the water's clear. So I'd say
Clear water is the best. So
Before we do the last one on the stream, Gracie, what an awesome conversion story. That's from Wisconsin. What an amazing young woman Gracie is. Tell her that we are glad she's here. That's from Nebraska. Thanks, Weston.
Oh, thank you guys.
Okay, here's the fifth.
Fifth one is your favorite BYU moment. Doesn't have to be on the tennis court either.
Wow. Oh, and you guys want a quick answer?
It's whatever you want.
Wow. I would say, sorry, I've just got 2 years to sort through right now.
We're live. Don't worry about it.
My goodness.
DJ, can we get some Jeopardy music or something?
Oh my goodness. Okay. I'm just going to pick one. It might not be my top one, but I'm just going to pick one. I would say playing doubles with Bitsy Tolis. I'm sorry, Bitsy. I just said her last name wrong. But it was just, like, we were just always super free. And, like, we had, I think, like, a 13 and something record, like, super good, super solid. And we had a couple times where we just got completely beat. But we would just come off and laugh about it instantly. Sometimes people are like, if you give it time, then you can laugh about it. Bitsy and I could laugh about it right away. And I just think like having a teammate like that was super cool. And to see her kind of move on to that next chapter, get married, like, I don't know. I'll always really love Bitsy. And I really loved those moments my first year.
That's a great moment.
Good stuff.
Gracie, thank you for being here. You'll come back, right?
Totally.
You got 2 more years of coming on the Wise Guys.
I'll come back every week.
Holly comes on all the time. So
give our best to your coach and the team. Have a great summer, and you're back in doubles this fall, right?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
And singles.
And singles, that's right. And then the tennis season is kind of different, right? Because the NCAA part of that is in the fall, and then it comes back around to the team.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's year
So
round.
hopefully make both.
Yeah, let's do that.
Hope you'll put the work in. You'll make both.
All right.
Thank you.
You're out of here. Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
guys.
Gracie, good to see you.
Gracie Levelston, we're going to hear her name over and over and over in tennis lore at BYU. Just getting started, really, and got the Cougars to the NCAA Tournament this year. And man, it's going to be
Only the
great
second
things. What a
time in
story.
a lot of years, right? So
All right, we're going to pivot here for a sec. We're going to do our Quick Quack promo, and then we'll bring on our next two guests. They're visiting right now, so let's say this. Wise Guys is proudly supported by Quick Quack Car Wash. This week, Quick Quack Car Wash is back in Southern California celebrating the grand opening at their 4th location in San Bernardino.
And Quick Quack, whenever they open a new car wash, they do a fundraiser for a local charity or a local group or a local family that is in need in that direct area around that car wash. The fundraiser in conjunction with this grand opening is the 66ers Foundation, which is a nonprofit operated by Inland Empire 66ers minor league baseball team. They're a group that's dedicated to providing local youth with the opportunity to play baseball and softball by funding registration and equipment for those who otherwise would lack the financial means to be able to do that. So Quick Quack, remember, wherever they open a new place, they're trying to make the world a better place wherever they open a new place, and this is the charity they're serving this time.
Keeping with tradition, there will also be 12 days of free car washes starting Wednesday at the new San Bernardino location. And Quick Quack always looking for nominations for fundraisers at upcoming Quick Quack locations. You can nominate somebody at quickquack.com/preview fundraiser.
And remember, Wise Guys reminds you that Quick Quack Car Wash is run by BYU grads who remind us all the time, don't drive dirty.
Don't drive dirty. Those are the words we live by. All right, we're going to move on to our next two guests. You're going to come over here. And DJ, Brenda's going to wipe the microphone.
Will you wipe this one down, hon?
This is how we do it on a live stream. We're just going to move around. So Blaine will grab this chair and come this way. Thank you, Brenda.
You got it.
And as our guests settle in there, I will say this. Our next guests are a pair of BYU grads who have had everything to do with the Thanksgiving Point development in Lehi, Utah. Alan Ashton, the founder, and McKay Christensen is the president and CEO and host of the podcast Open Your Eyes. And we're going to welcome you both to Wise Guys. McKay is going to slide right in there. We'll also discuss some Daily Herald paper route distribution with the McCann boys and the Ashtons, but that'll come up later. Headset on for Alan, coming on for McKay.
There we go.
And we'll get you two to slide just a little bit closer together. And there we go. Is that headset working out over there?
You'll have to.
Okay, you got us? You got us?
Yep.
It's great to have you guys here.
Thanks for having us.
You said BYU grads. Well, I'm a University of Utah graduate.
That's true, but BYU professor also brings you
it's
in.
the same thing. It's the same thing.
Yeah, but then I came to BYU in 1972 to teach in the computer science department, and have just fallen in love with the Y.
Yeah. You're as true blue as BYU.
Yeah, the experiences that we've had since then have been awesome.
We just had Gracie on, and the two of you sat in our green room and watched that. Isn't that not the ultimate BYU story?
What an amazing story. And everything about her is just so wonderful. Her decision making, her spirit, her conversion story, her play, just amazing.
Yeah, certainly God's been in the details of her life for sure.
And I just realized that I had got a call from Mike Arasso, who played for BYU tennis, and Holly Hassler, the coach there, is a good friend of mine. Mm-hmm. And they had asked me if Gracie could come and be photographed and filmed by BYU in our tennis bubble. So I just mentioned that to her on her way out.
Oh, that's awesome.
That was fun.
Your tennis bubble was an orchard I used to cut through while delivering newspapers, but we'll talk about
And my wife probably told you already, Alan, that she's played in your tennis bubble many times before. So
The two of you, we could spend about an hour and a half talking about all that you've done in the community and with work projects. We'll let folks Google that, McKay, Christensen, and Alan Ashton, because we want to spend the time we have with you talking about some really cool things. For one, the two of you have spent most of your life working on things to make the lives better for other people. So the first question, Alan, what drives you to do that?
I think it's my testimony in the Lord Jesus Christ, the opportunity that I've had of serving a mission, and my wife, when my wife and I counsel our children or our grandchildren, we always say, when you're looking for a mate, find somebody who loves the Lord even more than you. And I think that love of the Lord is something that really strengthens individuals and has them look outward rather than inward. My wife and I have 11 children, and it's just marvelous to see them. 65 grandchildren, now 34 great grandchildren. Wow. We lost a great grandson just over this last weekend, and 10 of our 11 children came down to St. George, Santa Clara, to be there at the passing of this little grandson that just died overnight. His father tried to resuscitate him, and so it was a real tragedy. But I saw our family get together and unify, and it was wonderful. The other one that didn't come was on a world tour away from across the world somewhere. Otherwise, I'm sure he would have been there too.
McKay, where does your motivation come from to serve others?
Similarly, from my testimony, also my experience at BYU, when they say enter to learn, go forth and serve, it's a real thing.
Yeah.
And then also examples of people like Alan Ashton, who has really committed his whole life to that cause, has been an inspiration for me.
You know, McKay, you were at BYU as a young man in school, and Alan, you came as a professor later, and the U back when you went was not as bad as it is. No, it's actually still great. U. But your experiences at BYU, how did they prepare you for the journeys that would come after BYU? We'll start with you, McKay.
The first thing you see at BYU when you attend is the models of the professors that you get to interact with. I got my graduate degrees and undergraduate both at the Marriott School, and they were just outstanding men and women that I looked up to, that I wanted to emulate, I wanted to be like. And I think they had a powerful impact on me that lasted for years after I left BYU. And that was an awesome experience for me. And then when I graduated from business school, went off to work, I started at Procter & Gamble in Cincinnati, I realized how well prepared I was. Not only did they prepare me for life, but also to compete in the world of business so exceptionally well. That's something remarkable about BYU.
What's the magic of BYU, Alan?
I think it's the striving to excel and to do well among the students. I was really very pleased to work with the students at BYU. I had connected an electronic organ to a computer at the University of Utah and brought that down to BYU. And so it was a good project for individuals to use to hone their experience with programming skills and so on. And because of that music, I ran into Bruce Bastian, who wanted to do his master's work in music. And he came to me and said, do you think I could automate the marching band show? He was the director of the Cougar Marching Band. And I said, that'd be a great project to do. Why don't you jump from music over into computer science, because the job opportunities are better here.
Yeah.
And so we got together there, and together we started WordPerfect. And so that, and we were able to pluck out of my students and those over in the business area to get BYU, to get WordPerfect going. And it was, it became the world-renowned word processor in the world.
So the idea goes back to how can I help the Cougar Marching Band with its music, and then Word Perfect comes out of that?
It really did.
How about that?
That's a wild.
I've heard a lot of stories, but I haven't heard that one.
Yeah, that's awesome. When we talk about BYU, and you as a professor there, and you, McKay, as a student there, undergrad and graduate school, we just listened to Gracie Levelston's story. And, she comes to BYU to play tennis, but in the process, she finds herself really and gets baptized and is a member of the church now. Is there any place really like that outside of BYU where you can learn all the things that you can learn secularly, but also have the kind of spiritual experiences that the students there and the faculty there have?
I think it's a unique place. As I have had opportunities, I remember one day a student came up to me. This was before there was any internet or any of the scriptures online, and he said, just give me any phrases, any words you want from an Old Testament scripture. And I did, and immediately he had all of the Old Testament indexed on the computer, and immediately it came up with all of the scriptures that had those words in it. And I thought, that's the future. That's the future, to be able to use computer searching capabilities to find things in the scripture. And so that's been something that has been an interest of mine over the years.
Okay.
You said it before, Blaine. The Spirit is at work at the Lord's University, and I saw it with my 5 children, all who graduated from BYU. I also taught at BYU, and I saw it in the students there. That it's more than just preparing for a job. It's preparing these kids for life, and for them to leave and then to go back and make a difference and give back again to the university, just like both of you are doing.
Well, we are thrilled to have 2 former BYU professors on the show tonight. Alan Ashton, founder of Thanksgiving Point, McKay Christensen, president and CEO. On the Wise Guys, presented by Brady Plus and Mountain America Credit Union. Our live stream goes all over the world and connects BYU fans, and that has to come back to Word Perfect in some form, some way. But Alan, let's talk about the idea and creation of Word Perfect. It changed how we function. It turned apple orchards in North Orem into a business park, brand new neighborhoods, triggered a new economy in Utah Valley, the precursor to the Silicon Slopes, and Thanksgiving Point. So of all that, what has surprised you the most by its impact?
I think it has seen the great growth that has happened and the start of, like you said, Silicon Valleys. There is great power in the computers, and those that have used computer technology to better the lives of others has really had a great position of foundation here in the valley. And I think that I saw that I wanted to use the computer to help people do what they wanted to do, and I saw I had a thesis that I had to do as an undergraduate with a lot of the mathematical symbols and so on, and I always thought it would be nice to have a computer that would be able to do that for you. And I thought everybody needs to write and to have the computer help with doing the writing. And I thought a word processor on a general purpose computer would be what you would really want to have. Early on, Wang had their own very sophisticated word processing systems, but it only worked on their machines. And I wanted to have it to be available for the housewife and for the children and for everyone else. And when the IBM PC came out, Lotus 123, the spreadsheet legitimized it for businesses. And in 1984, I said, word processing is going to overtake spreadsheets. And they said, there's no way. Nobody's going to knock off Lotus 123 from the top. And 2 years later, of the top programs, the top we were number one, Lotus was number two, there was a database there, and the other two were word processors. And so my prognostication of the future was that word processing would take over. And it's been a delight to see individuals come to me to say thank you for WordPerfect, because I've been able to stay home and do my work and take care of my children. A single mom mentioned this to me and was very grateful for that opportunity.
A great vision that came true. And then you had another vision. After you sold WordPerfect to Novell in 1994, you purchased that big plot of land out in Lehigh as a gift to your wife, Karen, to create a gathering place for families and to provide learning experiences for kids. It's what's now become Thanksgiving Point. So how does the reality of what it is today compare to the vision you had for it way back when you were purchasing the land?
You know, we didn't have much of a vision to begin with, other than we wanted to give back to the community. And what has happened has just been astounding. And especially under the direction of McKay, Christensen, and what we've done, there have been some marvelous things that have been put together, where we've revitalized the farm country to make it Curiosity Farms and put in the butterfly biosphere and the new fun Jurassic jungle, which is a playground by the Mountain America Museum of Ancient Life. And it's just been astounding to see that the point of the mountain has become the middle of people in Utah meeting together. It's a wonderful place. There's been much growth, and it's something that we really hadn't realized to begin with.
Isn't it ironic that growing up here, the point of the mountain was the prison?
Yes, exactly.
Now the prison's not at the point of the mountain, but a place for families to hang out together is.
Exactly.
We came to a point where we wanted to know what we should call it. There was the railroad train that went down to Geneva that went by there, and we thought, well, maybe Whistle Stop, and my wife didn't like that idea very much. There's also a Pony Express route that goes right through the property out west, but then my wife said, we ought to call it Thanksgiving. And then I said, well, we're right by the point of the mountain. Let's call it Thanksgiving Point. So
That's how we got it.
The name came from.
I was going to add, Alan's done two remarkable things. The first is, not only did he build a remarkable company and led one of the largest companies in Utah County, he sort of gave all the other businesses in Silicon Slopes this belief that, you can lead the way in the world from right here in Utah County, and modeled the way for so many businesses to follow. And then the second is his philanthropy, his desire to use what he earned from WordPerfect to give back to the community. He's led that way for others to follow as well. It's pretty remarkable.
Yeah, well said, McKay. McKay, how did your 20 years representing Melaleuca and their wellness products as its president, how did that become more than just a job for you?
I love the people. I love the fact that we had products that help people live happier, safer, healthier lives. I love that we had a mission that was that I was passionate about, and we had 4,000 employees that I cared about. It was just a remarkable experience, and we supported BYU, which I really enjoyed.
I heard that name Melaleuca from my dad to the Cougar Club years
Exactly.
ago. And so as we were catching up, I'm like, Melaleuca, I've heard of Melaleuca. And now we know the president, 20 years as the head man there. McKay Christensen, president and CEO of Thanksgiving Point, and Alan Ashton, the founder and also co-founder of WordPerfect on the Wise Guys. We're live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and wiseguys.com. All right, 10 years from now, what do you two hope to be talking about, Alan?
Well, hope that still be around in 10 years. We have some very exciting things now that we're looking at Thanksgiving Point. And McKay has gone out and done such a wonderful job in looking at a new technology museum with science and technology And I'll have him talk a little bit about it because I think this is something that will really take us into the future.
In 10 years, we hope our new Tech and Science Center for Kids is up and operating. It'll teach kids how to use technology and all of the major industries in Utah, like energy and aerospace and other things.
Are you going to launch rockets from out there?
We are going to launch rockets.
Oh, that's awesome.
Man.
Get prepared. I hope we're talking about the national championships the BYU football team earned in 2026. That'll be a great conversation 10 years from now. And we'd really like to talk about how our mission of helping Utah's kids, especially low-income kids, to gain confidence in themselves in STEM has taken root. And we've had a chance to bless the lives of hundreds of thousands of kids.
That's a great plan.
That's a great plan. Yeah, you mentioned BYU football. So let's just talk BYU football for a minute because I know you both follow it. So what's your expectation for this team next fall? A lot of returning guys. So they've been very impressive the last couple of years.
They really have.
Can they top it this fall?
They've had good seasons, and Kalani's done a good job with them, so I'm excited about it.
I mean, the expectations are high, right? Top in the Big
Sure.
12 in terms of returning snaps. Is that what they call it?
Yeah.
And you've got to think with that kind of experience coming back and the depth of our running back room and our defensive backfield, expectations are up there, right?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun. Summer's going to zip by. We're trying to slow it down, right? Patty Edwards was always saying, live in the now. We're trying to do that. But our heart is September 5th, right, when we kick off another season. So we're trying to slow this thing down. But let's find out a little bit more about the two of you now, like no one has ever known before. 5 questions for McKay and Alan are presented by Strategy Square. You ready?
Yeah, here we go. And these are similar to Gracie's, but not exactly so. And we'll start the first question. We'll go to McKay first, and then Alan, and then the next one will. So
you can't copy each other.
So we'll start with the same first question we had for Gracie. Your favorite sports movie?
Has to be Miracle.
Oh, Miracle.
Cool. That's a
We've
good one.
had that's a good one. How about you, Alan?
I saw I don't remember the name of it, just the other night of a wrestler, and it was done by Vid Angel, where he had a deformed head to begin with and became a champion wrestler, and that was really a wonderful one as a result of that.
We'll have to find
Go
that one.
research that one.
Dave will research that one while we're doing. So a new wrestling movie. So, and it sounds like an inspirational type of one too. Okay, here's question number 2, and we'll start with you, Alan.
Hang on.
Wait, did you find it?
Thanks to WordPerfect, my phone just does awesome
Yes, it
stuff.
does.
The Ben Carr story, Standout.
Yes, stand out.
From Angel Studios. We've heard that's awesome. You enjoyed it?
And what happened is that he made it through, and then he spent his time working with other individuals who almost looked like freaks and who had deformed countenances and so on. And you could just see when they saw that he was successful, he had gone through a lot of bullying and a lot of people pointing at him and mocking him, but he was in a position to bless the lives of others afterward.
All right.
There we go. That's the kind of movie we like. So it's called Stand Out. Okay, Alan, we'll start with you. Favorite singer or band performer?
Well, my favorite is the Messiah. My mother would take me to the Messiah early on, and I just loved hearing it. And I played the trumpet. I would listen for the Hallelujah chorus, and the trumpet shall sound at the end, which was wonderful. So that's really become very favorite music for me.
So Handel's Messiah. I love it. I used to have to sing that every year at the choral group I was in. We did perform the Messiah.
Go ahead. and
Beautiful
share a little
music.
bit.
So, and he
likes
shall
to,
reign
when we're closer to the holidays, he starts singing more.
Yeah. So we love that one. How about you? Favorite singer, band, performer?
Oh, I have too many to name, but we recently, just not long ago, had Kristen Chen with that Thanksgiving party.
Oh,
and she
she's
was so
amazing.
good. So she's high on the list.
She is amazing. She was the original Glinda,
Yeah,
and, on Broadway and Wicked, right? Yeah. Along with Indina Menzel as Elphaba. So there, yeah, she's fantastic. Okay, back to you, McKay. Your favorite technological advancement that you've seen in your lifetime?
Wow. My favorite has to be the smartphone, because you don't have to lug those big scriptures around church anymore. You
just hit a button and it just goes to another book. It's fantastic.
That's exactly right.
That's a good. I remember
smartphone
having to stop at a payphone when my first job and check my voicemail, because there's no such thing as a cell phone.
Exactly.
So that's wild. So what about you, Alan? The greatest technological advancement in your lifetime?
Well, I think right now with AI, being able to go out and search internet sites and everything is really a blessing for us. It can be used. We have to be careful because it's so powerful that you could be looking at somebody and hear the sound and see the lips move and so on, but it could be false information. Right. Mm-hmm. But being able to get the information so quickly I think is a great blessing for us moving forward as a society.
We had Jeff Birmingham on the show a few weeks ago talking about his new book, the last book ever written by a human, and all about AI.
Yeah,
and,
it's
fascinating.
Scary and fascinating and wonderful all at the same time.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's great. Okay, and it's Alan's first. If you're looking at employees, and you've had thousands that you've both employed, what's the most important skill? Your favorite skill that an employee can possess that will lead them to be successful and productive?
I think that they have broad knowledge because things change so rapidly that someone that is able to learn new things and to change from one specific thing to another is a great blessing for them in the future.
Still broad knowledge.
Yeah, broad knowledge. What about you, McKay? What do you think?
Smart, take initiative, and take responsibility. I think it's essential that you know how to
Those are the big
solve
three,
problems.
right?
Yep.
The big three. Be smart, take initiative, and take responsibility. Yep. I love that. So, and this fifth one's near and dear to us, to all of us. But our dear friend Alan Osmond passed away this last week. And 2 weeks ago, I guess. But his service was this last Saturday. Mm-hmm. Got to visit with a family. Wonderful. What a great influence he was on so many people. What's your favorite Alan Osmond memory? Do you have an Alan Osmond or Osmond memory?
I do. Alan and I were good friends, and we worked together for many years. And I had a number of dinners and experiences together with Alan and his dear wife. I never met or came up to say hello to Alan where he didn't give me a hug. He wasn't full of joy, and he didn't express how grateful he was to see me again. He was one of the most loving, giving, outgoing people I ever knew.
Yeah, amen to that. Amen to that.
And I was at the Provo Temple, and he would be at the front desk, and he was always smiling. And we were good friends, and I would talk with him, and even though physically he was bent over and a little bit difficult, pain in his life, he never showed it. And he was always very upbeat and positive, wonderful person.
Yeah, Alan battled MS, as we know, and valiantly and with just happiness at all. Like you can never see Alan down ever.
Right.
So
and he started Stadium of Fire, which is I think was his most favorite thing ever. One was blowing stuff up, but entertaining families.
Do you remember all those firecrackers?
Oh, yeah,
those
we were there.
Firecrackers. Yeah, we were there too, and it singed the hair of some of the fans that were there.
It was a great idea. The execution was a little off.
Yeah, I felt that heat wave hit me way up in the stands. That was really something.
Well, Alan spent his whole life trying to make everybody else's life a little bit better, which was a wonderful legacy to leave. So
we'll have a tribute at Stadium of Fire with him coming up this year.
Well deserved.
It's gonna be special.
Yeah. So here's a bonus question for Alan.
This is an important one.
Yeah, who's your favorite Daily Herald paper boy of all time?
You better get this right. I think the last name
Going to give you a lot of
really
hits.
important.
My whole family were your paper boys.
Yes, that's right.
It's got to be Dale. Like they all passed it down.
Could have been Dale. Could have been
better be
Darren.
Dave.
Could have been me. Could have been my sisters. I'd like to think I never once threw your paper on your roof. Hey, good answer.
It had to be Dave. So
Those were different times, but that still is an amazing street, 900 East, isn't it?
Yeah.
Surely is. Yeah.
So, and what Alan doesn't know, I don't know if he wouldn't remember this, but back when I was in high school, we'd come out and visit my cousins. I grew up in New York, and Word Perfect was brand new, and you were doing things. I think you were copying floppy disks from one computer to the other.
Yes,
on
we
that
were.
little square out in Orem.
Yeah.
My Uncle Ken Fowler and his family cleaned those buildings, and I went and cleaned the buildings a few times.
And I had my kids come and clean the buildings to begin with as well.
Exactly. Yeah. I remember when Word Perfect just started, and what it became was something glorious.
Well, BYU's turned out some amazing people, and you two qualify for that group. We appreciate having you on the show. We appreciate what you've done and are doing, and we're just delighted to hang out with you tonight. Glad you could be here.
Thank
Thank
you
you
for
very
having us.
much.
It's a
Great
pleasure.
to be here.
And we encourage you to check out Thanksgiving Point, everything it's got to offer, including the Tulip Festival, which runs for 2 more weeks. And you can find out more at thanksgivingpoint.org. All right, you guys are out of
You
here.
guys can
Nice
go.
job.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you
Thanks
so
for,
much.
Thanks for changing the world for the better for all of us.
Right back at
That's
you.
for sure.
Alan Ashton and McKay Christensen from Thanksgiving Point, and then so much more. Now, Blaine's going to shift back over. They're going to shift out of the line of fire, and we'll continue one of the funnest live stream shows we've ever had with some amazing, amazing people. We're going to go a little long today, but I think it's okay because first of all, it's May, and this is the start of our 4th year, and we still have some cool things to talk about with what's going on campus. And then as Blaine gets situated there, I'll start us in with our campus notes. We'll do campus notes and a couple more things, and then we'll call it good. But man, we've had some great interviews today. Fantastic stuff. BYU Pathway. Our campus notes are presented by BYU Pathway Worldwide. BYU Pathway makes truly affordable, fully online, spiritually based college degrees accessible to folks worldwide through greatly reduced tuition, weekly peer gatherings, and English support, helping students earn sooner, increase their income, and deepen their faith. Learn more at byupathway.edu. Let's start with track and field. The women are number 3 in the country. The men are getting better, and they just finished up the Robinson Invitational here on campus, and records were flying.
That's right. And Jane Hennegren, in her first outdoor mile that she's run as a collegian, she finished in 4:31:10, which is the 6th fastest time in NCAA history.
In NCAA history.
That's every time she just steps onto the track.
She just does
something special happens. Peja Rasmussen sets the school record in the 200 meters. That was mentioned on the chat earlier. A 22.69 200 meters. Amazing. Macy Taylor sets a program record in the 400 meter hurdles, running a 56.41. In my best, I couldn't run a 56.41 400.
She's
let
amazing.
alone 400 meter hurdles. Carter Cutting breaks the 36-year-old facility record in the 1500 meters by 2 seconds.
That's a lot.
And some great men that have come through, some great men and women have come through this track program in the distance programs, right? So to break that record, a 340.20, 340.20, crazy. Taven Kitchen and Isaac Hamilton both run the mile in under 4 minutes. So at elevation, that's not easy to do. They become the 6th and 7th to ever do it in the state of Utah. Kitchen finished at 359.17. It's crazy.
And
Hennegren
ran it. Isaac Hennegren ran it.
Oh, Hennegren. Sorry, I would said Hamilton. Isaac Hennegren
That's
ran
because I wrote it wrong.
in 359.69. So Isaac and Tavon, 2 of the fastest in the history of this state in the same meet.
we salute
We
that.
salute you. So up next, the Big 12 Outdoor Championships. Those are May 14th through the 16th in Tucson, Arizona.
That's going to be big. That's when all the guns will be going.
You bet.
Baseball is 23-23. They're 12-12. So that's just right there at the middle of where they could be. Utah took the series at Miller Park over the weekend, 2-1. That was kind of a bummer, but the Utes played better. But in the Big 12, what matters now is with 6 conference conference games remaining. Here are the standings. Kansas is number 1 at 20-4. Then there's Arizona State, West Virginia, UCF, Oklahoma State. Cincinnati and TCU are at number 6 at 13-11. Then BYU's at 8 at 12-12. Utah and Baylor are next at 11-13. And then Kansas State's 9-15. And then there's some others. The top 12 teams qualify for the postseason. So BYU can clinch a spot in the tournament with one more victory. That victory can come Thursday night. They play UNLV tomorrow in Vegas at 7:05 Mountain Time on the Mountain West Network. Then they go over to Lubbock and play Texas Tech Thursday and Friday at 5 Mountain Time, Saturday at noon, all on ESPN+. They win one of those games. They're in the Big 12 tournament.
Right.
Last year they had to win on the last game of the last weekend.
I remember it well. Yep.
They're ahead of schedule because they've been getting better in a bunch of big areas. But that's the big one. And then the next home game is Utah Valley, Tuesday, May 12th.
Yeah. In softball, 18-33, 7-17 in the Big 12. Number 25 Arizona State swept BYU in the season finale. So the Cougars finished 10th in the Big 12. In the softball tournament, only the top 8 teams qualify for the Big 12 tournament. So Gordon Eakin finished this season with 881 career wins in 24 seasons. In this offseason, Dave, they need to find more pitching.
Their pitchers got hurt or played injured, and the Big 12's too good.
Yeah, you can't be struggling there and win. So
men's golf, the national ranking is 24. Kihei Akina's ranking is 6. The Big 12 championship, last week the Cougars finished tied for 7th. Akina finished up as the runner-up for the individual title as a freshman. We talked about him earlier. He's the Re-Lyte Athlete of the week. What matters now is what's next. The NCAA Regionals coming up May 18th through the 20th, and then the NCAA Championships May 29th through June 3rd in Carlsbad, California. This is a really good golf team. They didn't play particularly great in the wind at the Big 12. But let's see what they do.
Yep, they've got a chance, and they're young.
Yeah.
So, women's golf, the NCAA regional for Maria Jose Barragan, MJ, right? Mm-hmm. Competition runs today through Wednesday in Louisville, Kentucky, and Whitney Bands is named the Big 12 Scholar Athlete of the Year.
Congratulations to Whitney. Women's tennis, 19-9. They finished. Stanford beat them 4-2 in the first round of the NCAA tournament in Malibu. Gracie Levelston, who was on the show earlier, she's first team All Big 12, and she's going to be fun to watch for the next 2 seasons.
She's going to be really, really good. Gymnastics. BYU hires Natalie Brookman, I should say, as the new head coach. She's been on staff since 2015, where she was the associate head coach for Guard Young. Young and BYU parted ways after the Cougars reached the NCAA tournament, and he was named the Big 12 Coach of the Year this past season. Brookman competed for BYU in the late 90s. She also received the Dale R. McCann Team Spirit Award from the Cougar Club.
We already liked her.
In 1999.
That's great.
So there we go. Gymnastics roundup.
Fantastic. By the way, there's a couple of things coming with FanFest. The first one is coming up Saturday in Huntington Beach at Central Park West from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. A lot of BYU stuff there. It'll be on BYU TV. And then Wednesday, May 20th, up in Davis County here in Utah, 6 to 8 p.m. on the 20th. We'll have more details on the exact location when we get closer to that one. But first one up, for all you Cougar fans in Southern California, it's off to Huntington Beach, Central Park West on Saturday.
There you go. Campus notes are presented by BYU Pathway Worldwide. Learn how to increase your education in a way that can benefit your life at BYUpathway.edu.
Hey, Wise Guys is thrilled to partner with Cougar Tribe. It's the best place to stay connected with the Wise Guys community throughout the whole week, not just Monday nights. So if you haven't joined yet, go check it out at cougartribe.com. It's free to join, which is our favorite price.
Yeah, if it's free, if it's for me, and I'll take 3, right? So tonight we have 5 great questions lined up that were put together by the Cougar Tribe staff. We'll be answering all of them right after the show, and those questions and our full answers will be posted exclusively on cougartribe.com tomorrow morning, so be sure to head over there and check it out at Cougar Tribe.
Let's roll out of here with On This Day on May 4th. By the way, it was May 4 years ago we started this show, so it's like a month long.
It wasn't on the 4th, though.
It wasn't the 4th.
It should have been, though, because if we could always say, hey, may the 4th be with you.
Yeah. Yeah, but Star Wars kind of took that.
Yeah, they took it.
So we got our own day. We're not actually sure which day, but it's the month.
Yeah.
And here we are. So let's roll out on this day on May 4th.
1871, first baseball league game. Fort Wayne beat Cleveland 2-0.
Cleveland's been losing for years, haven't they? 1904, Charles Rolls meets Henry Royce in Manchester, England. So then they got together and said, let's start a company, Rolls-Royce.
Man, that was a good meeting, I'll tell you that. 1904, also 1904 on May 4th, U.S. begins construction of the Panama Canal.
That was a big day for those two things to go down.
Yeah.
1929, on this day, Margaret Thatcher becomes the first woman elected prime minister in the United Kingdom. That was probably not 1929. I'm guessing that was probably 1979.
Yeah, and she was something, by the way. She was
need to get
great.
a new secretary.
1977, Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with you.
Yeah, that's been on.
Concentrate, you must.
There you go. You've been waiting to say that.
Yes, I am.
All day long, that stuff's been on social media. 1984, on this day, Dave Kingman hits a baseball that gets stuck in the ceiling of the Metrodome.
Yeah, that's a high fly
That's
ball,
way up
right?
there.
In 2010, Julia Louis Dreyfus. Is that how you say her last name?
Yeah.
I think it is Louis. It's not Louise.
Yeah.
No, it's Julia Louise Dreyfus. Gets a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and her name is misspelled. So I can't even say it, and her name was misspelled.
So then they had to get it right.
Yeah, they had to get it right.
Of course, she's Elaine on
right.
Seinfeld and some other things. 2024, Madonna holds a free concert at Copacabana Beach in Rio, draws 1.6 million.
Yeah, that's still a bit.
That's a big show.
How about May 4th birthdays? On 1796, Horace Mann,
Who's Horace Mann?
pioneer of public schools.
Of course he is.
Yeah.
1929, Audrey Hepburn, actress.
We know who she is. So,
Yeah.
in 1989, Rory McIlroy, the 2026 and 2025 Masters champion.
He's pretty good. May 4th, deaths, 2020, Don Shula, Dolphins coach.
Legendary Dolphins coach.
Still undefeated.
At 2026, John Sterling, longtime New York Yankees play-by-play announcer.
That's
passed.
all over social media
So,
today.
yeah.
Woke up to that. He was great.
Yeah.
He was great at what he did. Our Wise Guys inspirational quote of the week is from Audrey Hepburn, who
Of course
said,
it is. People, even more than things, have to be restored, renewed, revived, reclaimed, and redeemed. Never throw out anyone.
words to live by.
Love it.
Thanks to BYU women's basketball coach Lee Cummard, BYU tennis star Gracie Levelston, and BYU professors Alan Ashton, founder of Thanksgiving Point and the co-founder of Word Perfect, and McKay Christensen, president and CEO of the Thanksgiving Point and host of the podcast Open Your Eyes. We didn't even get a chance to talk about that, but we encourage you to check it out.
Next week, we're going to have BYU's two women's basketball stars.
That's right.
And our good friends Delaney Gibb and Olivia Hamlin on the show. And BYU super fan Ryan Robinson's coming on.
So we're going to have some more opportunities for fans to come on this show.
That's right.
Fans of BYU, not fans of us.
That's right.
It's just you and me are the fans of us.
Yeah.
But the fans of BYU is what bring us all together. So Ryan Robinson's a super fan, and he's going to kind of, we'll see how that goes. No pressure on him. And I know he's watching.
If he's really good, we might do it again.
Yeah, we'll see if there's going to be something after that.
And you and I have chill weeks the rest of this week.
This is gonna be a nice
you're in the
chill
Deseret
week.
News, which is not really chill. You're working, but we're not on the air the rest of the week, and I'm not on the air the rest of the week for the first time in probably 8 months.
We're chilling out.
There you go.
We remind you to get your tickets for Stadium of Fire featuring Brad Paisley. Get them at stadiumoffire.com. BYU grad Jim Evans, the executive director of America's Freedom Festival at Provo, is going to join the show as we get closer to the grand event. And as we talked about earlier, we note the passing of our friend Alan Osman, the father of Stadium of Fire, but known for so much more, laid to rest on Saturday. And our thoughts and prayers continue with his amazing family. His son David was on the show a few weeks ago, and it is a sensitive time for a great man, a great family.
An unbelievable family, and we love his wife Suzanne and all of that family. Phenomenal family.
And the memories that McKay and Alan Ashton shared, those were awesome. You can watch those again at wiseguys.com.
Wise Guys is presented by Brady Plus, supplies plus support. Find out more at bradyplus.com.
And by Mountain America Credit Union, empowering dreams for over 80 years. Find out what they can do for you at macu.com, macu.com.
Our Re-Lyte Athlete of the Week is presented by Redmond. The secret is in the salt. Learn what it can do for you at redmond.com. And this week's Re-Lyte Athlete is Kihei Akina.
He's a fantastic golfer, just getting started. Wise Guys is distributed by the Deseret News, and we wish our moms a fantastic Mother's Day. Moms everywhere. There would be no Wise Guys if there wasn't an Andrea McCann and a Barbara Fowler.
That is for sure.
That is confirmed.
Confirmed.
So we're grateful for them. have an awesome week, and we'll be back with a loaded show on Monday. And then look for all our stuff from this show on social media throughout the week. And yes, we're working on getting Brad Paisley on the show.
Yes, we are.
So thanks for
there
that
you
on
go.
the stream. See you, everybody.
See you, everyone.